Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, everyone, wherever you're at in the world. Welcome to Last Raps Baseball's live commentary of the Nippon Professional Baseball League. Tonight, it is the Climax Series Game 1 in the Pacific League, featuring the Hokkaido Nippon-Ham Fighters and the Fukuoka SoftBank Hawks. It is the Fighters who took care of the Buffaloes in 2 straight games over the weekend, that is, punched their ticket into the Pacific League Finals, as the Hawks, who finished with the best record the 2025 season, are perched and waiting for them to come to Fukuoka. All 6 games will be played at the PayPay Dome, and the Hawks begin the series with a 1-0 lead over the Fighters. And so tonight we're going to give you the starting lineup, first of all, for the visitors from Hokkaido. Leading off and playing in center field is number 66, Chusei Manami. Hitting second and playing shortstop is number 54, Shu Yamagata. Hitting third and doing the designated hitting is number 99, Franmil Reyes. And the cleanup spot and playing third base is number 30, Yuya Gunji. Batting fifth and in left field is number 61, Yuma Imagawa. Hitting sixth at first base tonight is number 21, Kotaro Kiyomiya. Hitting seventh in right field is number 53, Shun Mizutani. Batting eighth and doing the catching is number 33, Yuya Shinto. And batting ninth at second base is number 38, Kaz Ishii. And they're going to be facing the tough Cuban left-hander for the Hawks. It'll be Livan Manello starting the series. He is 12-3 on the year. He worked 167 innings. He allowed 112 hits, 29 runs, 27 were earned. He walked 42 and struck out 172 while pitching to a microscopic 1.46 earned run average. Well, that's your starting lineup for the Fighters. Now your starting lineup for the hometown Fukuoka SoftBank Hawks. Leading off tonight in left field is number 9, Yuki Yanagita. Batting second and in right field is number 32, Tetsuro Yanagamachi. In the 3 spot and playing third base is number 24, Ryoya Kurihara. Batting fourth at first base is number 7, Akira Nakamura. Batting fifth in center field is the batting champion of the Pacific League, number 8, Taisi Makihara. Batting in the 6th spot is the shortstop, number 6, Kenta Imamiya. Hitting 7th and doing the designated hitting is number 5, Otaki Yamakawa. Hitting 8th and doing the catching is number 62, Takeshi Amino. And batting 9th at second base is number 99, Isami Namura. And they're going to be facing the 21-year-old right-hander. It'll be Kota Tatsu, who takes to the mound for the Fighters with an 8-2 record. Worked 107 2/3 innings, allowed 80 hits, 27 runs, 25 have been earned. Walking 20, striking out 94, and pitching to a 2.09 ERA. Our friend M. Schroeder is in the house, as is Tori. We welcome you. M. Schroeder says, is this going to be a pitcher's duel tonight? Well, one would think so, but I guess time will tell here. The Hawks have themselves a pretty formidable pitching staff with 4 of their starters winning in double digits this year. And the Fighters, well, they pack a power bullpen to go with some pretty steady starters of their own. And everything is about to be unveiled here in just a few. We'll be right back in just a couple of moments, everybody, with the first pitch just around the corner. It is Fighters and Hawks on the Last Raps Baseball YouTube channel when we return after this timeout. Well, the first pitch ceremony has been completed, and it is Livan Manello who is heading out to the mound to begin his tune-up tosses, and we'll be getting this one going in just a couple of moments. We'll take a little musical timeout, and we'll come back with the first pitch in just a few.
Hello, this is Eric Fox, formerly of the Oakland A's and Texas Rangers baseball teams. If you want to learn about Japanese baseball, see Coach Fred of Last Raps Baseball. If you want baseball instruction, see Coach Fred. If you want to learn about golf, do not go to Coach Fred. Fred, what kind of club is this?
At Last Raps Baseball, we know baseball. Welcome back, everybody. It is going to be coming to bat here for the fighters to lead things off. Chusei Minami, Shu Yamagata, and Franmil Reyes to face the Cuban left-hander Lee Von Moinello. He had 24 starts during the regular season and pacing himself to those 12 wins against 3 defeats. So the diminutive Cuban left-hander on the mound here to get things going in inning number 1. For Minami, well, he had a pretty good first series. He was 4 for 7 at the plate. He takes a first pitch fastball outside for ball 1, and we are underway in Fukuoka. It is 18:01 local time. There's a breaking ball that misses up and in, and the count goes to 2-0. Tonight, the fighters are in their road blue tops with their gray pants, as the Fukuoka SoftBank Hawks are sporting their white jerseys with the black and yellow trim. There's a fastball that is swung through and missed, and the count goes to 2-1. That was at 95 miles an hour on our gun. So 2 balls and 1 strike. We're going to try to get all the games in. The only game that will be in doubt is going to be the 4th game of the series, which would be the Saturday game. We may have to join it in progress. We have some other commitments. But all the other ones we should be able to get to between now and the end of the Japan series, as that fastball misses outside and the count goes to 3-1. So 3 balls and 1 strike. Minami batting from the right side, waits on the pitch from the lefty, and there is a fastball that misses up and away. That's going to be ball 4, as Minami is aboard with a leadoff walk here in the first inning, and that's going to bring the shortstop Shu Yamagata to the plate. Well, for Yamagata, he's 1 for 3 in the playoffs for the fighters. He was inserted at shortstop in the 2nd game of the series. So no Mizuno here tonight in the lineup, as the big boss Shinjo has chosen to put together a bit of a unique lineup. There were a couple of eyebrow raisers for me. I was a little surprised that Yamagata got the nod. Also surprised that Imagawa is in left field tonight. And not to mention that Shinto is getting opportunity behind the plate. Here's the first pitch on the way to Yamagata. It's a fastball that misses way outside. The count is 1-0. More of a right-handed hitting lineup here against Moinello because he is a tough lefty. So I guess maybe playing the matchups more than anything else. So 1 ball and no strikes as Moinello steps off and snaps the throw over to first base, and diving back in time is the runner Minami. Minami can run a little bit as he gets his lead over at first base. The lefty kicks and delivers. There's a breaking ball swung on it, is popped up foul over down the third baseline. Giving chase is Kurihara. He climbs up the I guess you want to call it not only the netting, but the stands over there. I don't remember that actually in Fukuoka. That might be a new feature. They never used to have this netting on the temporary seating. And they used to have the people that would sit there with helmets on. But this looks like it is a new feature to Fukuoka. We didn't call many games for the Hawks this year, period. And when we did, they were usually on the road. There's a breaking ball swung on and fouled away, and the count goes to 1-2 on Yamagata. So 1 ball and 2 strikes. Even in the lineup for the Hawks tonight, some notable omissions is Kensuke's Kondo not in the lineup tonight. On top of it, where Yamakawa is batting 7th in the lineup, kind of caught my attention as well. Here comes the 1-2 pitch. Breaking ball swung on, lifted into deep right field, moving over toward the foul line with plenty of room to make the catch is the right fielder Yanagamachi, and retreating back to first is Minami. So 1 gone here for the fighters. And that is going to bring up the designated hitter in Franmil Reyes. Well, you couldn't ask for a better opening series for Franmil Reyes in the playoffs. In the 2 games, he was 4 for 6, no homers and a couple RBIs. And he also had been on base a couple of times via the walk. He was all over the base paths against the Buffaloes. 30-year-old steps in, hit .277 in the regular season, and the first pitch fastball is taken at the knees for a called strike, and the count's 0-1. Reyes has given the fighters everything and more. And if you asked me before, as this series is just getting underway, who my pick would be flat out, I would say it's still going to be the Hawks. I'm still riding the Hawk train in this one. I know Fighter fans might be disappointed to hear that, as there is a breaking ball that is waved at and missed, and the count goes to 0-2. I still think the pitching for the Hawks is the decisive advantage in this one. On top of it, I also believe that the veteran bats that they have in the lineup should be able to carry that pitching through the series and the home field advantage by winning the Pacific League. Now, I've been saying all along, I do think next year is the Fighters' year. There's a breaking ball swung on and it's grounded foul into the netting down the third base side. The count remains 0-2 to Reyes. But we'll have to wait and see. As this game is early and the series is early, there's a lot of things that can happen and a lot of water that can come under go under the bridge. Certainly in this one here tonight. Reyes stands very deep in the box, waggling the bat. He's got a wide stance that's slightly open. Here's the pitch. Breaking ball misses down, and the count goes to 1-2 on Franmil Reyes. Defensively tonight for the Hawks, from left to right field, Yuki Yanagita is in left. The center fielder is Taisi Makihara, and in right field it's Tetsuro Yanagamachi. Around the horn from first to third, Nakamura is at first. At second, it's Nomura. Imamiya, the shortstop, and Kurihara is at third with the battery of Moinello and Umeno. Not sure what is going on here. Moinello looks like that he has had to go to the rosin bag, has had to wipe his hand a couple of times. And now he finally is ready to face off here against Reyes. The 1-2 pitch forthcoming on its way. Breaking ball swung on and missed, and Reyes is in the books for the second out of the inning, the first strikeout here of the night for Moinello. And that is going to leave it up to the third baseman in Yuya Gunji. My friend M. Schroeder says that the Hawks were 160 favorites for tonight's ball game. And I think that's probably fair. I bet you that there'll probably be a run of games. Probably the first 3 games of this series, I think that they would all be the favorites. It's not going to be easy for the Fighters to have to win on the road and to basically have to win 4 games, 4 out of the 6. There's a breaking ball that misses down and in. Counts 1-0 to Gunji. Gunji, another one who had a pretty good series. Both him and Reyes, good tandem in the batting order. He was 3 for 7 with a homer and an RBI. Had an on-base percentage of .500. Here comes the 1-0 offering. Moinello kicks and delivers. Fastball swung through and missed, and the count now goes even at 1-1. So 1 ball and 1 strike it is. We will keep you updated on what the happenings are around the NPB tonight. Of course, the only other game would be the one that is going on in Osaka between the Tigers and the Bay Stars. That game is underway. It's in the top of the first and locked at zeros as well. There's a fastball taken for a called strike, and the count goes to 1-2. So 1 ball and 2 strikes. Just looking at the bench players for the Hawks, and we were talking about no Kondo in the lineup, but no Kondo on the roster for the playoffs as well. So we'll keep our eye on the depth there. There's a fastball swung on. His chop softly back to the pitcher. Moinello fields it. He throws it. It's in the air, and having to come down with it and not in time is the first baseman, Akira Nakamura. That's going to be an error charged to Moinello. That should be the 3rd out of the inning. And instead, that has put the Hawks in a difficult position here, as they now have runners at first and second with 2 out, and it's going to bring Kotaro Kiyomiya to the plate. So Moinello, have to tell you, he makes a great play to field the ball. Had to leap up a bit, and he had all kinds of time to make the throw. And instead, he throws it up in the air, and the first baseman, Nakamura, has to leap, bring it down, and he couldn't get back to the base in time. So an error charged to Moinello, and that puts runners at first and second with nobody out. And this story brings up Imagawa to the plate, and the first pitch breaking ball is taken for a called strike. I thought it was Kiyomiya, my mistake on that one. So this is Yuma Imagawa, who was another one of the, at least for me, an eyebrow raiser in the lineup. the revolving left field position. He gets the start tonight. So no balls and one strike. Pitch, breaking ball, swung on and grounded foul over on the third base side, and now he's in the hole at 0-2. Imagawa hit .245 in the regular season with a couple of homers and 5 RBIs. And our friend Titus is in the house. We welcome you. He says, welcome from the land of the rising sun, although it is stormy. Welcome from the land of the stormy rising sun. We're glad you're with us. Here comes the 0-2 pitch as the lefty kicks and delivers. Fastball misses just under the hands. The count goes to 1-2 on Imagawa. God is great says, how's it going? Well, for the next couple of weeks, it's going to be going in the middle of the night because we're going to call all of the playoff games in the Pacific League. If this series wraps up early, we'll try to get you the ones in the Central League. As there is a breaking ball that misses down and in, and Imagawa, he claims he's been hit by the pitch. He was doing a bit of a dance at the plate, and that's going to load the bases. I'd like to see that one again. Well, he was dancing around. Got him in the back foot. So 1-2 pitch. He gets hit by the pitch. That loads the bases, and it's going to bring Kotaro Kiyomiya to the plate, and it's going to bring the catcher Imano out to the mound. We're going to look at the replay on that one. Oh, I don't know about this one. Oh, boy, I don't know. It looked like that he threw his right leg out, and as he threw his right leg out, it was right into the oncoming pitch. Nevertheless, he gets the base. It's not going to be challenged by the Hawks. It looked like he was ready to take a corner kick the way that he swiped at the ball. So 22 pitches already here for Moinello, and one big error in the inning has loaded up the bases. And the Hawks have a chance to get things going here in the first inning. So Kotaro Kiyomiya at the plate, and the first pitch breaking ball swung on. It's grounded over to the right side, fielded neatly by the first baseman Nakamura, flips it to the pitcher covering, and that is going to do it. It's going to be a ground out 3-1 to end the inning. So they survive the error and a hit by pitch and a walk. So no runs in the inning, no hits, and there was one error and 3 runners left aboard. Fighters had an opportunity, but they let it get away. It is the Hawks coming to bat in just a couple of moments. Appreciate you guys for hanging in here with us on the Last Raps Baseball YouTube channel. Right back after this. Welcome back, everybody. It is going to be the bottom of the first inning, and coming to bat for the Hawks will be Yuki Yanagita, Katsura Yanagamachi, and Ryoya Kurihara to face the right-hander of the Fighters, and that would be Kota Tatsu. So Tatsu is just completing his tune-up tosses, and the 21-year-old is ready to take on the Hawks here. Made 16 starts in the regular season, had an 8-2 record with a 2.09 earned run average. As he gets the baseball, and he's ready to go to work here with the big, bright green glove. So stepping in is Yanagita. On the regular season, he hit .288 with 4 homers and only 9 runs batted in. And the first pitch he sees is a fastball, absolutely scorched to right field. Back on the warning track and making the catch is Mizutani. And that is going to retire Yanagita for the first out of the inning. He hit the ball right on the screws. That was vintage Yanagita, but just didn't quite get enough of it to send it over the fence. So one quick out here in the first inning, and that's going to bring up the right fielder in Tetsuro Yanagamachi. Well, for Yanagamachi on the season, he hit .292. He had 6 homers and 50 runs batted in. And the first pitch on the way is a breaking ball that misses down, and the count is quickly 1-0. Defensively, tonight for the Fighters from left to right field, it's Imagawa in left. The center fielder is Manami, and in right field, it's Mizutani. As the pitch on the way is a fastball that's taken for a called strike. Oh, not sure that Yanagamachi was in agreement with the home plate umpire. Around the horn from first to third, it is Kiyomiya at first. The second baseman tonight is Ishii with Yamagata at short, and at third base is Gunji with the battery of Tatsu and Shinto. Here's the pitch. Breaking ball misses down, and the count goes to 2-1. I know our friend God is great is listening in. I'm just wondering who's picking up the feed in Japan tonight? Is it TBS? As the pitch is on the way, there's a fastball swung on and pop foul. It's going to reach the seats just beyond the third base dugout, and the count is going to go even at 2-2 to Yanagamachi. So 2 balls and 2 strikes. As the right-hander gets a new baseball, ready to go back to work. Here comes the offering, 2-2 on the way. Fastball misses inside, and the count now goes to 3-2. If you're listening live in North America, it is just after 2 o'clock Pacific or 5 a.m. Eastern, as we will be carrying everything right up until the last game of the Japan series. Here's the 3-2. Fastball swung on. This is going to be lined into center field. It's going to get down for a base hit. Manami retrieves it, and he gets it back into the infield, and that will be a base hit here for Yanagamachi, the first hit of the ball game by either team. That is going to bring up the third baseman in Ryoya Kurihara. Good piece of hitting there by Yanagamachi. He really had to keep his weight back, stayed inside the ball nicely, was able to extend through it. It looked like that the pitcher, Tatsu, had taken a little something off the pitch. So establishing his lead at first is Yanagamachi. He's got 1 foot on the turf and 1 on the dirt. As Kurihara steps in, the first pitch coming to the third baseman of the Hawks is a breaking ball swung on and grounded foul just past the bag at first base. During the regular season, Kurihara hit .267 with 8 homers and 40 runs driven in. So game 1 of the Climax Series finale in the Pacific League here tonight. As the right-hander Tatsu checks the runner over at first, works himself to the belt. Now the pitch on the way. Fastball misses inside, and the count goes to 1-1. So 1 ball and 1 strike. Kurihara waggling the bat, waiting on the offering here from the right-hander Tatsu. As Tatsu gets the sign from his catcher, and now he kicks and delivers. There's a fastball waved at and missed. And the count goes to 1-2. Kurihara's played a lot of baseball in the last year plus, as he was on the Premier League team, or the Premier 12 team last year for Japan. Ended up losing in the finale to Chinese Taipei, or Taiwan. Here comes the 1-2 pitch as Tatsu holds set. Now delivers. There's a breaking ball swung on. This ball is lifted into right field. It's going to get down for a base hit. And stopping at second is going to be Yanagamachi. They're playing station-to-station baseball, are the Hawks. As that puts runners at first and second with 1 gun, and it's going to bring the first baseman Akira Nakamura to the plate. And you sometimes see that in the first inning with the starters that usually takes them an inning or so to get the feel. And then they could settle in for the long haul. And that might be the opportunity that is lost for the Fighters to have had a chance to get a run on Moinello in that top half of this inning. Well, the same could be said for Tatsu here. He hasn't quite got in the groove yet. 2 base hits and an absolute missile off the bat of Yanagita that ended up as an out. So Akira Nakamura steps in. He hit .240 on the regular season with 3 homers and 34 RBIs, and he takes a breaking ball down and in. The count is 1-0. Another one of the longtime veteran players in the Hawks lineup. We're saying about how the Hawks have got too many players right now on the, at least positional players, on the wrong side of 30. And they're going to have to start revamping or at least backfilling some of those players here in the next year or two. Starting to get long in the tooth offensively. But on the mound, their pitching can still carry them for probably another couple of years, I would think. That window is wide open. Here's the 1-0. Breaking ball misses upstairs, and now it goes to 2-0 on Nakamura. And to think this year they really didn't have the services of Carter Stewart Jr. He missed the entire season. Because if he would have been in the rotation, that would have been another pitcher that could have been looking for a 10-win season. I would expect he'll be back in the lineup next year. Here's the 2-0. Fastball taken for a called strike. The count now goes to 2-1 on Nakamura. They generally will put the starters, or they announce the starters 24 hours out. During the last series, they weren't announcing it to the end of the ball game. So I'm curious to see if they are going to make that announcement now. There is a fastball that comes inside, and it is hit Nakamura. That's going to load the bases. So now you've got the bases full of Hawks here. But this time they only have one down, and it's going to bring Taisi Makihara to the plate. And for those of you who maybe don't know, Makihara had led the Pacific League in batting average during the season, so he is going to make his contact. He'll put the ball in play, that is for certain. Now we have a conference on the mound as the pitching coach has come out to have a few words with his young right-hander. As we look to get caught up on the potential for starters for tomorrow's games. And much like in the previous series, they have not made the announcement. They have, however, made the announcement for the Tigers and the Bay Stars. It'll be Saiki versus Takeda. As that game will go off at the same time from the Koshin Stadium. And much like this game, it is 0-0 in the bottom half of the first inning with the Tigers and the Bay Stars. Although this game here, the Hawks are knocking on the door and looking to kick it in. Bases are full of Hawks. Only one gone here in the first. And the first pitch on the way to Makihara misses down for a ball, and the count is quickly 1-0. Makihara got the start in center field tonight. No Yukio Shudo in the lineup. That actually got my attention as well. I was kind of curious to see if Shudo would be a part of this. As I said, Kondo not even on the playoff roster. Much like last year. Last year, he didn't really play much parts in the playoffs either. There was a fastball swung on. It's grounded to second. They flip it to second for one. Back to first, and it's going to be an inning-ending double play. Makihara rolls it over, and he's gone for the third out of the inning. Well, Hawks get their opportunity. No runs in the inning. There was a pair of hits. There was no errors, and there were 2 left the board. Your scores were now through 1 complete inning. It is the Hawks nothing and the Fighters nothing. Stick around, everybody. We'll be back in just a few with all the action on the Last Raps Baseball YouTube channel right after this timeout. Welcome back, everybody. It's going to be the bottom third of the batting order to come to bat for the Fighters here in inning number 2. That means Mizutani, Shinto, and Ishii. The first pitch delivered to Mizutani is a fastball that just misses inside for ball 1. Mizutani 2 for 4 in the playoffs so far as he swings at a fastball and pops it up in the infield right in front of home plate. Underneath it, with plenty of room and space, is the catcher Umino. And he is going to make the grab, put it away, and Mizutani's in the books for the first out of the inning. It's going to bring up the catcher in Yuya Shinto. And that's kind of exactly what the doctor ordered for Moinello. Moinello and to throw a few pitches in that first inning and probably a few more extra than what he actually needed after he had made that error himself. Here comes the first pitch. It is a breaking ball swung on and fouled away. Count is quickly 0-1 to Shinto. Trying to get a pitch count here from Moinello. I believe it was 23 pitches in the first inning. I'll have to verify. That's exactly what it was. There's a breaking ball taken for a called strike. Count now goes to 0-2. So no balls and 2 strikes. And he had to throw 4 extra pitches that he didn't need to throw. There's a breaking ball swung on and chopped foul over on the third base side. The count's 0-2. One thing I would say is that if it got into a battle of the bullpens, I'm not so sure that I'm convinced that the Hawks bullpen is as good as the bullpen of the Fighters. I mean, stats might tell you something different, but I'm not so sure that that might be the case. There's a fastball swung on. It's grounded softly through the 6-hole into left field. And that is going to put Shinto aboard with a 1-out single. And that's not what you want right there. Shinto with a base hit single with 2 strikes. Far too good a pitch. It was a changeup that he had left. Caught a little bit too much of the plate. He was able to fight through it. And able to punch it through that 6-hole. But Shinto aboard with a 1-out single. That brings up Kazunori Ishii to the plate. And the first pitch from Moinello is a breaking ball that is swung on. It is popped up behind second base, out into the outfield grass or outfield turf as the second baseman Nomura, and he's there to make the catch. And that is going to retire Ishii for the second out of the inning. So a quick out there. Another player that I would have thought that maybe would have been in the lineup for the Hawks in this series, but also not even on the roster, Jeter Downs. Another player that I thought, well, maybe he would get the opportunity, but Nomura is getting the opportunity at second base. So Manami steps in, waiting on the offering from the lefty Moinello, who kicks and delivers. The pitch is a breaking ball that misses down. Manami walked his first time up, and he was stranded at third base to end the first inning. So 1 ball and no strikes. Our friend Jimmy in the house. So hopefully we can keep you awake for your morning drive here. There's a breaking ball that swung on and missed, and Manami screws himself right into the ground. And the count goes even at 1-1. Good friend Jimmy, we haven't had a whole lot of chance to chat with him lately, as he is working the day shift these days. But we're glad we could be a part of your morning wake-up call. So 1 ball and 1 strike as the center fielder of the Fighters waits on the pitch from Moinello. It's a fastball swung on and lifted foul down the right field line, and the count goes to 1-2. Jimmy said he heard Jeter Downs and had to stop in. Yeah, that would get your attention. Yeah, no Kensuke Kondo, but I didn't see anybody pounding the door down for that. So 1 ball and 2 strikes to Manami, as the lefty Moinello gets the sign from Umino. Works himself to the belt, checks the runner at first. And now he kicks and delivers. Fastball misses way upstairs, and the count goes to 2-2. So 2 balls and 2 strikes. As we mentioned, back at it again tomorrow night. So if you are in the mood and inclined, make sure you pop in again tomorrow. We will be back on the airwaves again, as we will be each and every day for this series. So 2 balls and 2 strikes to Manami. Again, the lefty Moinello holds set. Cuban kicks and delivers. There's a breaking ball that misses way upstairs. Count goes to 3-2. Made Manami do the limbo. I really like the Cuban lefty here. I know he's not a big guy. In my opinion, he could play in the big leagues. I don't think I'd see him as a starter. I would probably see Moinello more as what he was when he first came to the Hawks, which would be a 8th inning power arm out of the bullpen. But I don't think he throws as hard as a starter. I think he has to pace himself a little bit better. But very, very effective. So 3 balls and 2 strikes. Runner's going to be on the move once Moinello goes to the plate. He comes to the set position. He checks the runner at first. Here's the 3-2. Breaking ball misses inside, and it's going to be another base on balls for Manami. That is the second free pass issued tonight by Moinello. That's going to put runners to first and second, and it's going to bring up the shortstop in Shu Yamagata. Jimmy says, do you think the Brew Crew can come back? Not a chance. I think they're finished. That's pretty tough. You got to waltz into Los Angeles and win 2 out of 3. Man, you had the opportunity to try to get a victory at home, and you actually got, well, certainly the first game, even with the bases loaded, 1 out. Couldn't push anybody across. There's a first pitch breaking ball up to Yamagata. Yamagata 0 for 1 tonight. Flew out to right field his first time up. Yeah, so I think they're finished. I think they're done. And shockingly, I think the Blue Jays are done too. I can't see them doing damage in Seattle. Fastball swung on and going to be lifted foul into the seats. So it looks like it's shaping up as a West Coast World Series. Dodgers and the Mariners. Who would have thunk it? Well, certainly the Dodgers. I'm not so sure about the Mariners. So 1 ball and 1 strike. Yamagata waits here. He rocks back and forth. The lefty Moinello gets a new baseball. As he kicks and delivers. There's a fastball swung on and it's popped foul into the seats, and the count goes to 1-2. As Jimmy Redbeard says, Yamamoto was in Cy Young form last night. He was absolutely dicing. That might have been arguably one of the best games that he's pitched in a Dodger uniform ever. And those were the kind of things that he would do when he was with the Oryx Buffaloes. Here's the 1-2 pitch. Breaking ball swung on, grounded softly to short. Imamiya fields it. He flips it to second. That's going to erase Manami on the fielder's choice, 6-4. He's out for out number 3, and that is going to do it here for the Fighters in their half of the second inning. No runs in the inning. There was a hit. There was no errors, and there were 2 stranded left aboard. This could be the early tail of the tape. 5 runners stranded aboard by the Fighters in the first 2 innings. Our good friend Mike Cool Hooks is in, and he says the Blue Jays and the Brewers are cooked. And I bet you're right on that one. We'll be right here in just a few, right after this little timeout.
Check the mic and make sure it sound right, boys.
Welcome back, everybody. It is going to be Kenta Imamiya, Hotaki Yamakawa, and Takashi Umino to come to bat here in inning number 2, as it is going to be the return of Kotatatsu to the mound after he struggled in his first inning of work. And the first pitch is a fastball taken for a called strike, and the count is quickly 0-1 to Imamiya. Imamiya on the season only hit .255. He had limited duty. He had a couple homers and 12 RBIs. As that breaking ball misses down, and the count now goes even to 1-1. Our friend Am Schroeder said the Dodgers figured out you don't need the bullpen if the starter can go the distance. You got that right. As the 1-1 pitch is swung on and missed, Dave Roberts' computer was probably jammed that he didn't know how to make the decision of who to bring in too early. And so he must have just wrote it out, said we're going to keep this guy going. I think it was 111 pitches last night. Fastball misses down, and the count goes to 2-2. I wonder if A.J. Hinch of the Tigers was taking note, taking Skubal out after 6 innings on 99 pitches in a must-win game that ended up giving up a run the next inning, and there's a fastball missing up and away. 3-2 to Imamiya. Friend Jimmy says, I think the Brewers will win the next 2 just to force a Game 7 for money purposes. But the Dodgers will win the series. I don't know about that. They might get 1, but I don't know if they're going to get 2 in Los Angeles. As there's a fastball swung on and lifted foul down the right field line, and the count remains at 3-2 to Imamiya. But you never know. And I'm sure the bookies will have their say on this as well. 3-2 pitch on the way. Fastball swung on, lifted into straightaway center field. Now drifting over to his left a bit is Manami, and he's there to make the catch. And that is going to retire Imamiya for the first out of the inning. That's going to bring up the designated hitter in Hotaki Yamakawa. Well, for Yamakawa, hitting .226 during the regular season, he had 23 homers to go with 62 RBIs. A little curious to see that he was hitting 7th in the order tonight. Usually he is in and around the cleanup spot. Fastball taken for a called strike, and the count is 0-1. And Schroeder says Glasnow and Ohtani up the pitch. There's a fastball swung on. This ball is lifted into deep left field, racing over, and he can't come up with the catch is Manami. He drops the ball on the warning track in left center field. And cruising into second base is going to be Yamakawa. Oh, my goodness. I wondered tonight why Manami was in center field. And there it is. It shows up. I don't think if Matsumoto or if Isobata are in center field, that ball hits the floor. Hit him right in the hands. That's going to be an error charged to the center fielder, a 2-base error as Yamakawa is aboard at second. Oh, my goodness. We watched the replay of that one there, and it hit him right in the heel of the glove. And then for an encore, he decided to play soccer with it. He kicked it around a little bit. So Yamakawa on at second base, and that brings up to the plate the right-handed hitting catcher, Umino. And there's a breaking ball swung on it. It is grounded over to the shortstop side. Fielded on the backhand by Yamagata. They throw to second base. Did they get the runner Yamakawa? No, he dives back in safely. So we go from one poor piece of baseball to another poor piece of base running. And so I think that'll probably be ruled as an infield single, or possibly even, I don't know if they would rule it as a fielder's choice. Oh boy. We'll get a look at the replay. Yeah, he's safe, but boy, Yamakawa, I don't know what you were doing out there. Well, that puts runners at first and second. It brings Asami Nomura to the plate. Wonder if they're going to put on the bunt here. In my opinion, the Hawks are a team that doesn't bunt as much as maybe others do. There's a pitch that's down. They appeal over to the first base umpire, goes up with the right hand as Nomura has in the hole here at 0-1. So no balls and 1 strike. Try to get an official scoring on that last bit. Right-hander holds set. Now he kicks and delivers. There's a fastball swung on it. Is going to be lifted foul over on the first base side. Nomura in the hole at 0-2. And I also don't know if with the runner Yamakawa at second base, if that would be the right decision to bunt. He's a bit of a gong show on the base paths at the best of times. They did rule it as a base hit, though, for Amino. I guess they figured that he probably would have had the hit anyway if they would have thrown to first. Here's the pitch. Fastball misses down and away, and the count goes to 1-2 on Nomura. Starting to wonder already how long that Tatsu will be hanging around in this ball game. M. Schroeder says these guys forgot it's the playoffs. Yeah, well, maybe the Hawks with a layover or a layoff for a week plus. As there's a breaking ball swung on and missed, and Nomura's in the books for the second out of the inning. But the fighters are playing defense like they did a couple of years ago. A couple of years ago, they were really painful to watch defensively, but I have to say they've really cleaned up their defense. Last season, they were much better. This year here, they've been better. But you go back 3 years ago, oh boy, really, really difficult to watch. But that's what you get when you have a young team. And a lot of patience has to go in with that. Here's the pitch. Fastball misses down, and the count is 1-0 to Yuki Yanagita. Yanagita, on the first pitch of the ball game, hit an absolute P-rod to the right fielder, Shin Mizutani, on the warning track. So he is ahead in the count here at 1-0. The veteran who was in the swan song of his career. There's a split finger pitch that is swung on and missed. I'm not so sure that this isn't that he called. I remember he made an announcement early in the year. And I think he's either calling it a career at the end of this season or it's next year that he's packing it in. I have to go back into my notes and see. But Yanagita has been a longtime fixture for the Hawks. There's a fastball swung on. It's grounded softly over to second. Fielded neatly by Ishii. He throws to first, and Yanagita is going to be gone on a ground out 4-3, and so are the Hawks here in their second inning. More runners stranded aboard. No runs in the inning. There was a hit, an error, and 2 left. Your scores, we are now through 2 complete. It is where we started. Fighters nothing, and the Hawks nothing. Stay with us, everybody. We'll be back in just a bit with all the action on the Last Raps Baseball YouTube channel. Welcome back, everybody. We are moving to the top of the third inning. It is going to be Franmil Reyes, Yuya Gunji, and Yuma Imagawa to come to bat here for the Fighters to start things off against Levon Monello. Will begin his third inning of work. Keeping lefty ready to rock and roll as he's completed his tosses. And the first pitch coming here to Reyes as he rocks himself into the windup and delivers. The first pitch is a fastball that misses up and in for ball 1, and the count's 1-0. Reyes tonight struck out his only time to the plate. He's been the only strikeout victim so far by Monello as he delivers a fastball right down the middle for a called strike, and the count goes to 1-1. So 1 ball and 1 strike. Moinello gets the sign from his catcher, and he slowly rocks himself into that windup and delivers. Fastball misses down and in, and that moves the feet of Reyes around a little bit. Now count goes to 2-1. Couldn't have asked for a better season from Franmil Reyes or a better start to the playoffs. He has been a big part and a big fixture in the Fighters lineup. As the 2-1 on the way, and there's a fastball swung on. This is going to be grounded through the 6-hole into left field. And Reyes is aboard with a leadoff single here in the third inning. We are yet to see a clean inning for either team in this one, as there has been base runners all over the place. They just haven't been able to cash anything in yet. So Reyes aboard with a leadoff single. That's going to bring Yuya Gunji to the plate. Gunji officially 0 for 1 tonight, as he had reached on the error by the pitcher Moinello back in the first inning to extend the first inning. The Fighters were not able to capitalize on the mistake of the Cuban lefty. Five runners stranded on base for the first two innings for the Fighters, 4 by the Hawks. As the lefty Moinello delivers, and it's a breaking ball waved at and missed. The count is quickly 0-1. I almost felt like they're going to need to have a couple of doubles to drive a runner in from second base. I'm not sure they'll be able to do it. So no balls and 1 strike it is to Gunji. Moinello leaning in, getting the sign. As he works himself into that set position, here comes the pitch. Fastball misses down, and the count goes even to 1-1. M. Schroeder says, playing with fire all this base traffic. Absolutely. So 1 ball and 1 strike as the lefty works to the set. And here's the pitch. It's a fastball swung on, grounded over to short. They go to second for 1. Back to first in time, and that's going to clear the bases. That's going to go in the books as a 6-4-3 double play. As Reyes is gone on the front end, Gunji on the back end, and that's going to leave it all up to the left fielder in Yuma Imagawa. Well, you roll into the occasional double play here. That'll help you out. Could be an unconventional 1-2-3 inning for Moinello, and he needs a little bit of that. If my numbers are right, he's at 47 pitches, and that's what it is. Breaking ball misses down and in, and the count goes to 1-0. I always figure if you can stay under 45 for the first 3 innings, you're in pretty good shape. Here comes the 1-0 offering as the lefty delivers. There's a breaking ball swung on and fouled away, and the count goes to 1-1. Just taking a quick peek at what's happening over at the Koshin Stadium. There's a fastball taken for a called strike, and the count goes to 1-2 on Imagawa. Nothing in the top of the third between the Bay Stars and the Tigers as the lefty Moinello delivers. Fastball swung on. This ball is lined into left field, and it's going to get down and for a base hit in front of the left fielder Yanagita. And that is going to be a 2-out single here for Imagawa. He's on for the second time tonight. He really had to pull his hands inside really, really tight, and he was able to get the barrel head out. I'm just surprised that Yanagita didn't make the play. I know Yanagita spent most of his career as a right fielder for the Hawks. Getting the nod in left field. He has lost a step or two. I should say this, most of his career, in the latter part of his career, has been in right field. So this brings Kentaro Kiyomiya to the plate. 0 for 1 tonight. Grounded to first his first time up, and he takes a fastball on the outside corner for a called strike. Count is 0-1. So no balls and 1 strike. Moinello working from the set position, delivers. It's a breaking ball that misses down, and the count goes even at 1-1. So 1 ball and 1 strike. Really haven't been able to get a tempo to pace to this game quite yet. Here's the 1-1. Fastball taken for a called strike at the knees, and the count goes to 1-2. As we said, all these runners on the base paths and nothing to show for it. So 1 ball, 2 strikes. Bonello nods in agreement with his catcher, Imino. And now he kicks and delivers. There's a fastball that misses way outside. The count goes to 2-2. If there's going to be a criticism of Moinello tonight, it's going to be his economy of his pitches. As we said, that error in the first inning that he committed didn't help the cause. And it's not like he's had a ton of hard contact. There's been a couple of seeing eye singles, as the pitch on the way is a breaking ball that misses down and away, and the count goes to 3-2. And that might be a larger concern because you got to figure you're going to be due for a loud hit eventually. So 3 balls and 2 strikes. As the lefty waits here on the offering from the other lefty. Pitch, fastball swung on and lifted foul into the seats down the third base line, and the count remains at 3-2 to Kiyomiya. The runner Imagawa on the move, of course, with the full count. He has to return back to first base. So 3 balls and 2 strikes. Lefty Moinello looking in, nodding in agreement, working himself to the set position. Here comes the 3-2. Fastball swung on and fouled into the feet of Kiyomiya. He's got the shin guard on his right leg. It remains at 3-2. We'll look at that one there again. Oh, I got him right flush on the shin guard. Well, it does its job. So 3 balls and 2 strikes. Again, waiting here. So Kiyomiya waggling the bat. And Magawa establishes his lead. And there goes the runner. Here's the pitch. Fastball swung on. This is lifted down the left field line. Yanagita moving over. And he's got room, and he's going to make the catch, and he flips it into the stands for a souvenir. And that is going to do it here for the Fighters in their half of the third inning. Well, they had no runs in the inning. They did get a pair of hits. There was no errors, and there was 1 runner left aboard. Your scores, we're now moving to the bottom of the third inning. It is still where we started. Nothing between these two teams. We'll be back in just a few with all the action on the Last Raps Baseball YouTube channel. Stay with us, everybody. It is Fighters and Hawks when we return in just a bit. It is a 0-0 game as we move to the bottom of the third. We'll be back in just a moment with all the action after this. Welcome back, everybody. Our friend Jimmy says it's good to hear us in the morning with his schedule that's got him all messed up. Well, I got to tell you, this is messing my schedule up. First pitch fastball taken at the knees by Yanagamachi for a called strike, but it's all worth it. The season is going to wrap up in another couple of weeks, so we can sleep when that is done. Fastball swung on and a lifted foul down the left field line into the seats, and the count is 0-2 to Yanagamachi. Only 34 pitches through the first 2 innings for the right-hander Tatsu, as he gets the sign from his catcher, and here comes the 0-2. Pitch on the way. Fastball misses way upstairs, and the count goes to 1-2. Certainly these start times of 1800 hours Japan time don't lend itself to a good timing for us. There's a fastball swung on and missed. Yannick Amachi in the books. He is gone for out number 1 here in the inning, and by our count, that is number 2 for the starter Tatsu. So 2 strikeouts for him, and that brings up the third baseman in Ryoya Kurihara. Our friend Jimmy says he likes the Power Ranger poses for the cheerleaders. Yeah, Major League Baseball needs cheerleaders, not robot umps. Yeah, I'm okay with that. Fastball taken for a called strike. The count is 0-1. So no balls, 1 strike to Kurihara. Pitch on the way. It is a fastball that misses down and in, and the count goes even to 1-1. Kurihara had a single his first time up, but he was left stranded in that first inning. 1-1 on the way. There's a breaking ball that misses way upstairs. The count goes to 2-1. Yeah, I wonder who the first team would be to bring in cheerleaders. It was funny, I was looking at some stuff. The Taiwanese have cheerleaders in their league. There's a fastball swung on it. It's grounded on a couple of hops to the second baseman, fielded neatly by Ishii. He throws to first. Kurihara is gone for the second out of the inning. So 2 quick outs here in inning number 3, and that's going to bring up the first baseman in Akira Nakamura. One of my other fears in this game is going to be, are we going to have a situation where we get all these runners on early and then they can't score a run and we go extra innings? How about that for a start to the series? As the pitch is on the way, there's a breaking ball swung on and grounded foul over on the first base side. Count 0-1 to Nakamura. Nakamura was hit by a pitch his first time up. As the right-hander holds to the set and now delivers. There's a breaking ball that misses upstairs, and the count goes to 1-1. So 1 ball and 1 strike. Again, the right-hander working to the set. He kicks and he delivers. There's a fastball swung through and missed. 1-2 to Nakamura. That was of the split finger variety. M. Schroeder says, no 15 innings, please. No, actually, these games can end in a tie after 12 innings. As the pitch is on the way, there's a split finger pitch swung on, and it is lifted into right field. Underneath it is Mizutani, and he is there to make the catch, and that is going to do it, as Nakamura is going to be gone for the third out of the inning. So we had a clean inning, the first one of this ball game here. No runs, no hits, no errors, and nobody left the board. Your scores, we move to the top of the 4th. It is the Hawks nothing and the Fighters nothing. Stay with us, everybody. We'll be back in just a few. Jimmy Redbeard says he thinks the Texas Rangers would be the ones to do it. I think they should import them from the Dallas Cowboys. We'll be right back after this, and we'll have a look at the Honeys. That would be the Hawks Honeys. We'll be right back after this.
Well, you got to have an ace in the hole, a little secret that nobody knows. Life is a gamble, a game we all play, but you've got to save something for a rainy day. You've got to learn to play your cards right if you expect to win in life. Don't put it all on the line for just one roll. You've got to have an ace in the hole.
Welcome back, everybody. It is going to be the bottom third of the batting order to come out for the Fighters, and that means it is going to be Mizutani, Shinto, and Ishii. And the first pitch delivered to Mizutani is hammered foul down the left field line. And the count quickly goes to 0-1. Mizutani 0 for 1 tonight. He popped up to the catcher his first time up. Front end Schroeder said, yeah, didn't realize playoffs too. Yeah, well, that would a tie plays in the favor of the Hawks. As a fastball misses upstairs, the count goes even to 1-1. 59 pitches through 3 innings for Moinello, who is usually pretty economical in his line of work. Here's the 1-1. Fastball swung on and lifted foul down the first base line. The count goes to 1-2. The other thing is that it's the Hawks already have a 1-0 lead. And our friend Jimmy dropping us a super chat. Appreciate it there, Jimmy. Much appreciated. That'll get me a couple of Vietnamese coffees in another couple of months. 2 months from today, to be exact. Fastball swung on, grounded through the 6-hole into left field, and Mizutani muscles it through for a base hit. And he is aboard with a leadoff single here in the 4th, and that'll bring up the catcher in Yuya Shinto. At what point we're going to start seeing some bunts here, I don't know, but I think if the fighters, I want to start doing it now. We look forward to catching up to you, Jimmy, when we do. As always. So Mizutani aboard with a leadoff single. It brings Shinto to the plate. 1 for 1 tonight, and he's already squaring the bunt. So just as it is on cue, this game here is going to be runs at a premium. And the pitch on the way, he squares the bunt, he pulls back, and he takes a called strike. So no balls and 1 strike to Shinto. That is not what the doctor ordered by any stretch. Again, Shinto squaring the bunt. He's got to get the job done here, get that runner into scoring position. As the lefty Moinello holds to the set, here comes the offering. Kicks and delivers a breaking ball that's bunted foul over on the third base side. The count now goes to 0-2. One thing I would say is that not only is, first of all, he took a strike, and that one there, he bunted a ball. So Shinto not able to get the job done. Let's see if they keep it on with 2 strikes. I would. Not taking the bat out of his hands, he's taking it out of his own hands. So here comes the 0-2 pitch. And it's on its way. It's a breaking ball, swung on and missed, and Shinto is in the books. He's gone for the first out of the inning, and that'll bring up the second baseman in Kazunori Ishii. Jimmy says he's going to be around some of this working. He's working security on Saturday till 11:30 p.m. Eastern. That'd be good. Hopefully we can connect. Obviously, you don't have a ton of things to do these days other than watch the Steelers and the Penguins now. It's early in the year. Certainly the Pirates have been done for a bit. So Ishii 0 for 5 now in the playoffs, 0 for 1 tonight. And there goes the runner down to second. The throw, is it in time? And they're going to nail the runner Mizutani. He's going to go in the books, caught stealing 2-6. He's gone for the second out of the inning. I didn't see if that was a ball or a strike to Ishii. So just like that, he is gone. They couldn't get him over to second. He had a pretty good jump too, but I got to tell you, Amino, he made the Hawks forget about Takuya Kai last year. He got rid of it in a quick, threw a dart to second. Breaking ball delivered, taken for a called strike, and the count is 1-1. That first pitch was a ball to Ishii. Here's the pitch from Moinello. It's a fastball swung on and missed. Count now goes to 1-2. So 1 ball and 2 strikes. Moinello again working quickly. There's a fastball swung through and missed. And it's an unconventional 1-2-3, but a 1-2-3 nonetheless. Well, they had no runs in the inning. They did have a hit. There was no errors, and there was nobody left aboard. Your scores, we move to the bottom of the 4th inning. It is the Fighters nothing and the Hawks nothing. Stay with us, everybody. We'll be back in just a little bit with all the action right after this timeout. Welcome back, everybody. It is going to be the 5, 6, and 7 hitters to come to bat for the Hawks in inning number 4. Makihara, Imamiya, and Hotake Yamakawa to get things going here. One thing I do notice is it looks like it is in the playoffs a little bit longer in between innings. It just seems like they've added a little bit extra time. I don't know if that is the case or not, or if it's just whatever else, but seeming like the commercial timeouts are just a little bit longer. Brings Makihara to the plate. Makihara 0 for 1 here as he grounded into a double play his first time up. As the right-hander Tatsu kicks and delivers a breaking ball that misses up and away, and the count is quickly 1-0. Makihara was the Pacific League leading hitter with a 304 batting average. Not too many players with batting average north of 300. There's a breaking ball taken for a called strike in the entire NPB. So 1 ball and 1 strike it is as the right-hander kicks and fires. Breaking ball swung on, grounded to the right side, fielded deeply in the 4-hole by the second baseman Ishii, who throws to first, and that is going to retire Makihara. It's going to go in the books as a ground out 4-3. So 1 up and 1 away. It'll bring up the shortstop in Kenta Imamiya. Well, for Imamiya, he is 0 for 1 as he had flown out to center field his first time up. Imamiya batting from the right side here against the right-hander Tatsu, who delivers a fastball that just misses outside. Count is 1-0. As I said early in the first inning, if you can't get to these 2 starters early on, and both teams had their opportunities, you could be in for a bit of a long haul now. And that's exactly as it looks like both the pitchers are starting to settle in. Breaking ball taken for a called strike. Count is 1-1. For Tatsu, he has now retired 6 in a row. 1-1 on the way. There's a breaking ball missing down and away, and the count goes to 2-1. So 2 balls and 1 strike. And the right-hander works himself to the belt. And the pitch on the way. There is a fastball swung on. It's grounded over to the third base side. Fielded neatly by Gunji, who throws to first. And Imamiya in the books. Ground out 5-3 for out number 2. And it's going to leave it all up to Hotake Yamakawa. Well, for Yamakawa, he reached on a 2-base error as Chusei Manami dropped the ball in left center field. Not only did he drop the ball, he decided that he was going to play soccer with it and kick it around a little bit, allowing the big fella to get into second base. There's a first pitch breaking ball taken for a called strike. The count is 0-1. So no balls and 1 strike. Tatsu ready to go again. He kicks and fires. There's a fastball taken. And they say he didn't go. Boy, that pitch looked pretty good. 1 ball and 1 strike it is to Yamakawa. That's what you get when you have the home calls go your way. Here's the 1-1. That's a split finger pitch, swung on and missed, and the count now goes to 1-2. Now, maybe based on a couple of the swings I've seen here tonight, I can see why Yamakawa is hitting 7th. He looked sick on that one, way out in front, as the ball was down in the dirt. Here comes the 1-2 pitch. And there's a split finger pitch, swung on and missed, and he's in the books for the 3rd out of the inning. And that is going to do it. 8 in a row now retired by Tatsu. He's on a roll. No runs, no hits, no errors, and nobody left aboard. We are now through 4 complete innings in Fukuoka. It is where we started. The Fighters nothing and the Hawks nothing. Stick around, everybody. We'll be back with the top of the 5th in just a couple of moments after this. Welcome back, everyone. We're moving to the top half of inning number 5. It'll be Manami, Yamagata, and Reyes. For those of you who do like to indulge in some of the gambling pieces, I would have to say that if you took the under, so far you're smelling like a rose in this one. I'm not sure what the over-under was, but when both teams have 0, you know the under is in full play. So Manami, Yamagata, and Reyes, the top of the order here, to come to bat for the third time against Levon Moinello. As Manami steps in, you wouldn't see this in Major League Baseball. The starters would probably be gone by now. But this is the Japanese League, a little bit of old school baseball as well. The first pitch fastball taken for a called strike at the knees, counts 0-1 to Manami. Manami has the ability to turn around a pitch. As the 0-1 on the way, there's a breaking ball swung on. It is lifted into right field. Moving over toward the line, it's going to get down, but it's going to bound into the stands. But it looks like it is just going to slice foul. Or is it? Nope, Manami is going to get a ground rule double here. Couldn't tell. We lost it there just because of the angle of where we're at. So Manami's going to get a bleeder that gets down for a double. Get a look at the replay. And Yanagamachi lost his hat, and then he wasn't able to get to the ball as it ended up spinning into the seats. So aboard with a leadoff double here is Manami. It brings Shu Yamagata to the plate. M. Schroeder said it was 5.5 in this game. Well, here you go. You've got the shortstop Yamagata already squaring to bunt. As Moinello steps off the rubber and chases the pitcher back. So here we go with another threat again. Fighter is looking to punch the first run of the game across. And the pitch on the way. It is bunted and it's popped up foul into the netting behind home plate, and the count is quickly 0-1 to Yamagata. So neither of the teams, when they've had to get the execution of some small ball done, have been able to do it, which is not a characteristic of the Japanese. They usually can execute things really well, but tonight, not so much. So no balls and 1 strike. Again, the left-hander works himself to the set, now delivers. It's a breaking ball that drops in for a called strike, and the count goes now to 0-2. So no balls and 2 strikes it is. Again, Yamagata looking like he wants to bunt here with 2 strikes on him. And you might as well, because he hasn't been able to get the job done on the first 2. One to the backstop and one that was a breaking ball that he ended up taking. So here you go. No balls and 2 strikes. Manami gets his lead at second base. Moinello checks the runner. And here's the pitch. It's bunted. It's down. It's right back to Moinello, but the only play is going to be to first. So Yamagata gets the job done. It's going to be a sacrifice. It's going to go 1-4 in the books. Yamagata has gone for the first out of the inning. Advancing to third is Manami. That is going to bring up the designated hitter in Franmil Reyes. So tough situation here for Moinello. You got to wonder is how he's going to pitch to Reyes. If it were me, I don't think he's getting anything good to hit. And we're going to see if he can, at least until you get into a spot where you can try to put him away, but he's going to have to nibble and nibble and nibble right here. Fighter fans who have made the trip are in full voice as Reyes waits here on the offering from the lefty. And Moinello works to the set. Here comes the pitch. Fastball swung on, lifted into straightaway center field, but coming in on it is the center fielder Makihara. Tagging at third is Manami, but he's got nowhere to go as he's going to have to stay there. Reyes could not get the job done. Did not hit the ball deep enough as Reyes has gone for the second out of the inning, and that's going to leave it all up to the third baseman in Yuya Gunji. Well, failed opportunity, missed opportunity, can't cash the run in. And so, much like the other game that is going on in the top of the fourth inning between the Tigers and the Bay Stars, this game is 0-0, as is that one as well. And on top of it, it's also in that game, both teams have made an error as well. So maybe the layoff has caused a little bit of timing issues. Bay Stars have a pair of hits, but the Tigers are still searching for their first one. Here's the first pitch from Moinello. It's a breaking ball swung on. It's grounded over to third, fielded by Kurihara. Throws to first, and that is going to end the inning. It's a ground out 5-3. Gunji is gone for out number 3, and that is going to do it. A by Manami, and he is stranded at third. No runs in the inning. There was a hit, no errors, and one left the board. We are halfway through this one here as we move to the bottom of the fifth. It is 0-0. We'll be back in just a few right after this timeout.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Namaste. Hey, I hope you guys have been enjoying the game. My name is Hollis. I've got a YouTube channel called Another Hollis Build. I love baseball cards. I open up brand new product for you guys. I open up old stuff. I do breaks. I do auctions. All kinds of stuff concerning baseball. I'm Friars faithful, Padres to the end. I also love Garbage Pail Kids and my animals. I have a ton of animals. It's like a mini petting zoo here around my house. I also love my city. San Diego, baby. I'll take you all around the city and show you what's up. If you guys dig stuff like that, cruise on over and check it out. It's Another Hollis Build. If you dig it, subscribe. I'd really appreciate to have more follow me along on the journey. Hey, either way, you guys have a wonderful day or a beautiful, beautiful evening. No matter which one it is, make sure that you make it great, my friends. Big up Last Raps Baseball. Yeah, Freddie, let's go. One love and peace. Yeah, man.
Welcome back, everybody. We are moving ourselves to the bottom half of inning number 5, and the 8, 9, and 1 hitters are coming to bat for the Hawks. It'll be Umino, Nomura, and Yanagita to face the starter Tatsu. If you have to ask me who I think would hang around longer, I would probably have to put my money on Tatsu. His pitch count right now has been far more economical than his counterpart Levon Moinello, and he has now retired 8 in a row going into this bottom half of inning number 5. So we'll see how this all plays out in just a couple moments as the right-hander ready to go to work again. As Tatsu kicks and delivers, the first pitch is a breaking ball down in the dirt. The count is quickly 1-0 to Umino. Umino has one of the 3 Hawks hits tonight. He had a single back in the second inning. He's 1 for 1 in the affair. Here's the pitch. Breaking ball, take it for a called strike, and the count goes even at 1-1. 57 pitches through 4 innings for the right-hander Tatsu. He kicks and fires. There's a split finger. Waved that and missed, and the count now goes to 1-2. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Where the offense is going to come from tonight, well, who knows at this point. There's a split finger pitch swung on and missed. And they're going to tag Umino. He is going to be retired for the first out of the inning as he had swung and missed at a pitch that was in the dirt. Nice stop there by the catcher Shinto. And he tags his opposite number for the first out of inning number 5. That'll bring up the second baseman in Isami Nomura. And for Nomura, well, he's 0 for 1 tonight. He struck out his only time up against the right-hander. As he kicks and delivers, does Tatsu, and it's a breaking ball that misses upstairs for ball 1-0. And Schroeder says, I don't think that Hanshin has a walk or a hit. They definitely don't have a hit. As that ball is popped up on the infield, moving over underneath it with room to make the catch. And the middle of the park is Yamagata. And just like that, we got 2 quick outs here in the 5th inning. This is picking up the pace a little bit. And now that'll bring up the top of the order in Yuki Yanagita. Yeah, I don't know if they've got a walk or not. I definitely know they don't have, or at least the last time I checked in, did not have a hit. as that game currently is still in the top of the fourth inning. And there is a fastball that misses down, and the count's quickly 1-0 to Yanagita. Yanagita 0 for 2 tonight. He had an absolute missile first pitch of the game that he saw, drove it right to the warning track in right field. Ended up as an out, and he grounded out to the second baseman his second time up. There's a splitty in the dirt. Count goes to 2-0. So 2 balls and no strikes. Game over in Osaka between the Tigers and the Bay Stars as that breaking ball drops in for a called strike. Count is now 2-1. That game, they're shaping up like it could be a one-run game there as well. Here's the 2-1. There's a fastball swung on. This ball is going to get golfed into center field for a base hit. So Yanagita aboard with a 2-out single. That's going to bring up the right fielder in Tetsuro Yanagamachi. So that breaks a string of 10 consecutive outs recorded by Tatsu. Good piece of hitting there by Yanagamachi. Able to keep his weight back, stayed inside. It looked like it was a split finger pitch. And he was able to club into center field. So runner at first is Yanagita. Yanagamachi stepping to the plate. 1 for 2 tonight. Pitch on the way. Fastball swung on. Grounded through the 4-hole into right field. And stopping at second is Yanagita. Doesn't want to challenge the arm of Chusei Manami. So back-to-back singles here with 2 outs. Is going to leave it up to the third baseman in Ryoya Kurihara. It has been the story here tonight. Both of these teams have left a lot of runners on base. Fighters so far in this one have stranded 7 aboard. Hawks, through their first 4 innings, have left 4 aboard, but they've got 2 on right now with 2 gone here in the 5th inning. They need a clutch hit. Somebody needs a clutch hit. So Kurihara coming to the plate, 1 for 2 in this one. As he waits here on the offering from the right-hander Tatsu. Pitch on the way. Oh, that would have been the pitch. I think Kurihara wanted that one back. It's a split finger pitch that drops in for a called strike, but it was left up in the zone. So no balls and 1 strike it is. Kurihara with a chance here to give the Hawks an early lead. Pitch on the way. Fastball misses up, but the count goes even to 1-1. Just a reminder, after this half inning, we like to call this our Japanese halftime. And as it is halftime, that means they take a 5-minute break in between the 5th and the 6th innings. They'll come out and clean the field. And we'll go refresh our drink, put on the kettle, make ourselves another cup of tea, and settle in for the back half of the ball game. So here comes the 1-1 pitch. On the way, fastball swung on and pop foul into the seats behind home plate, and the count goes to 1-2. So 1-2 it is to Kurihara. So it looks like the Tigers got their first hit in the bottom of the 4th, a single to center off the bat of Morishita. They got their first base runner of the evening. Here comes the 1-2 pitch. Right-hander delivers. Fastball swung on, hammered into right field. This ball is going to get caught by Mizutani. Oh, boy, he absolutely hit a bullet, did Kurihara, but right to the glove of the right fielder, and that is going to do it. He's gone for out number 3. No runs in the inning, and there was a pair of hits. There was no errors and 2 runners left aboard. We are where we started. It is the Fighters nothing and the Hawks nothing. We're going to take that break, as we mentioned a couple moments ago. We're going to put the music on loop. So come on back and join us for the back half of this one. It's going to be interesting. I'll see you in a few, everybody. Top of the 6th, just around the corner. Welcome back, everybody. A little late getting back in the saddle here, as it is Yuma Imagawa at the plate. He is in the hole at 1-2 to the left-hander Moinello. And the pitch on the way is a fastball swung on and grounded foul. Count is 1-2. We have that 5-minute break in between, and we jump out usually to get ourselves refresh our beverage and all the rest of that stuff. Our friend God is Great is back in the house. He says the Dodgers will win the next couple games over the Brewers. Sounds like God is Great is predicting a sweep. And I can't say that you're wrong. I have a feeling that that is potentially going to be the case as well. Here comes the 1-2 pitch as Moinello rocks into the windup and delivers. And it's a fastball swung on and missed. And Imagawa gone for the first time tonight. He's down on strikes for out number 1, and that'll bring up the first baseman in Kotaro Kiyomiya. Well, for Kiyomiya, he is 0 for 2 tonight. He is grounded to first, and he is flown out to left as he taps both sides of the cleats, taps the plate, and he's ready to get into the batter's box. As the lefty Moinello rocks and delivers, there's a fastball that misses up and in for a ball, and the count is 1-0. So 1 ball and no strikes. Lefty Moinello ready to go, rocks and delivers. There's a breaking ball that catches the outside corner for a called strike, and the count goes to 1-1. So 1 ball and 1 strike. Again, Moinello rocks himself into the windup, and he kicks and fires. Breaking ball swung on, grounded over to the right side. Oh, what a nice play by the first baseman, Nakamura, diving to his right. Picks it up, underhand, tosses it to Moinello covering. That's going to go down in the books as a ground out 3-1 for the second out of the inning. So 2 outs here. Some nice defensive play by the Hawks in this one. And that is going to bring up the right fielder in Shin Mizutani. So Mizutani strides to the plate. He is 1 for 2 tonight. He was caught stealing his last time up. He had a single and then was gunned down by the catcher Ameno, and he swings at a breaking ball and taps that one foul on the third base side. The count is quickly 0-1. So no balls and 1 strike. Mizutani 3 for 6 now in the playoffs. Be hard pressed to take him out of the ball game, at least on an offensive standpoint. Here's the pitch from Moinello. It's a fastball that misses down, and the count goes even to 1-1. So 1 ball and 1 strike. Again, the lefty kicks and fires. There's a breaking ball waved at and missed. Count now goes to 1-2. We're keeping tabs on that game that's going on at the Koshin. Also 0-0. That game, though, was a little bit behind ours. As the pitch is a fastball, and that just misses inside. I'm not sure where that pitch was. Sure looked pretty good to us. We're going to look at the replay again. So here's the 2-2 pitch. Breaking ball waved at and missed, and that is going to do it as Mizutani's in the books for the third out of the inning. And the Fighters go quietly here in their top of the 6th inning. No runs, no hits, no errors. Nobody left the board. We're moving to the bottom half of number 6. We're going to complete the back half of what we were doing. Got to finish making our tea. We'll be back in just a little bit after this timeout. Appreciate you guys for hanging in here with us tonight on the Last Raps Baseball YouTube channel. It is the Hawks coming to bat. Nakamura, Makihara, and Imamiya when we return after this.
Check the mic and make sure it sound right, boys.
We got a scoreline of 0-0. It is going to be the bottom of the 6th when we return in just a couple moments. We'll take this musical timeout and be right back with you in just a few. Welcome back, everybody. The first pitch delivered to Nakamura is a breaking ball that catches the inside corner for a called strike, and the count is quickly 0-1. Defensive changes, wholesale defensive changes in the outfield for the Fighters. There's another breaking ball that just misses, and the count goes even to 1-1. We'll have to get that caught up for you in a moment. But I just have the feeling that Manami is probably going to move to a corner, as there's a breaking ball that misses down and goes all the way to the backstop. We'll try to get those changes for you here in just a moment. So 2 balls and 1 strike it is here to Nakamura, the leadoff hitter in inning number 6. The right-hander kicks and delivers. There's a fastball taken at the knees for a called strike, and the count goes to 2-2. So 2 balls and 2 strikes it is. My guess is that potentially Imagawa's night could be done, as the pitch on the way is a fastball swung on. It's going to be lifted into the foul, or into the seats down the third base line. Foul, and the count remains 2-2 to Nakamura. Just waiting on the announcements. If I was guessing, I'm going to say Mizutani moves to left, Manami to right, and in center field it would be either Matsumoto or Isobata. As the pitch is on the way, breaking ball misses down. Count is now full to Nakamura. We'll see how they have made their adjustments here in just a moment. It is Manami in right, Mizutani in left, and the new center fielder is actually Yazawa, so I guess I'm wrong. There's a breaking ball swung on. It is chop foul down the first base line, and the count goes to 3-2. So Yazawa in the lineup, as he will take the spot of Imagawa. Interesting that they're relying on Kota Yazawa these days. But he has the trust of the big boss. And there's the 3-2 pitch. It is a fastball swung on and missed. And Nakamura is gone for the first out of the inning. And the beat rolls on here, still 0-0. Nakamura gone for out number 1. It's going to bring up the center fielder in Taisi Makihara. Well, for Makihara, 0 for 2 tonight as he strides to the plate. So Makihara is grounded into a double play, and he is grounded to second. Interesting. He gets the start in center field. There is a split finger pitch swung on and missed, and the count is 0-1. I got to wonder where Yukio Shudo is, and if he's going to play a part in this game late in the game as a potential option. There's a fastball swung on and fouled away. Count now goes to 0-2. So no balls and 2 strikes. Looking at the players on the bench for the Hawks. As Masaki is on the bench as an outfield option. There's a split finger pitch that is swung on and missed. They're going to have to throw down to first, and they're going to retire Makihara. It's a strikeout, 2-3 for the second out of the inning. It's going to leave it all up to Kenta Imamiya. They also have Ogata on the bench as an outfielder, as well as Sasagawa. So those are the outfield options. Infield options, well, there is Yudai Shoji is a potential option as the pitch on the way. Breaking ball just misses outside to Imamiya. The count is 1-0. As we mentioned, Yukio Shudo is another option, as well as Kawase. Here's the 1-0. Fastball taken for a called strike. The count goes even to Imamiya at 1-1. So 1 ball and 1 strike. They got a couple of catching options. As there's a fastball swung on, and it gets through the third baseman, Kiyomiya. That I am going to guess that's going to be an error. As we're going to see if they were able to hold him to just 1 base or if Imamiya is all the way around to second. Oh, my goodness. That is a very generous base hit there for Kenta Imamiya. That's going to bring Hotake Yamakawa to the plate. I'll get a look at the replay again. He had to go down to the knee on the back side, and the ball just gobbled him right up. I don't know about that one. That's what you call a home field hit. So Imamiya aboard. It's going to bring the pitching coach out to the mound for a conference with Tatsu. Talk about how they're going to face Hotake Yamakawa here. Yamakawa in scoring position when he steps into the batter's box. The big fella here tonight is officially 0 for 2. He reached on an error by the center fielder. And I think that's going to be the it, or is no, not going to be it. They're going to stay with Tatsu. That's Kato, who's made his way back to the dugout. So on at second base is Imamiya as he establishes his lead. He's in scoring position. Yamakawa at the plate. As we said, 0 for 2 tonight. Reached on an error and struck out. There's a fastball down in the dirt. Count goes to 1-0. I think they're going to be very delicate with the big fella here. I don't think he's going to see anything good to hit. I wouldn't anticipate. You got Amino on deck, who is 1 for 2 tonight. He might have used up all his hits in the ball game already. You don't want to let Yamakawa beat you. Here's the pitch. Fastball up and in and backs Yamakawa off the plate. The count now goes to 2-0. So 2 balls and no strikes. We're here in the bottom of the 6th inning. That game over between the Tigers and the Bay Stars. A 0-0 top of the 5th. Game is dragging along a little bit. There's a pitch that misses down in the dirt, and the count goes to 3-0. And finally, the big boss just stands up, holds the 4 fingers up. Let's just put them on and get on to the next guy. So you can see that coming. It sets up the force. It's not the worst thing to do. Make them swing. Hopefully you can induce a bad swing or a bad swing or a good swing at a bad pitch. And do we have ourselves a pinch hitter? No, it is going to be Amino coming to bat. Amino is 1 for 2. He's got a single and a strikeout in his 2 trips. Hawks looking to get on the board here. They have stranded 6 runners aboard tonight. Haven't been able to get the clutch hits. So is it going to be Amino? Here's the first pitch. Breaking ball swung on and fouled away. And the count is quickly 1-1. Amino, I think, wanted that one back. It was a hanger that hung. He just got it off the end of the bat and fouled it away. Hawks fans are cheering their team on, trying to urge them to get their first run across the board. No balls and 1 strike it is. Pitch on the way. Fastball misses upstairs, and the count goes to 1-1. As I mentioned earlier, I think that in the playoffs here and the rosters, the way that they've been set, I personally believe it is the fighters who have the better pen. But I guess that'll have to play out here in a bit if nobody can score a run. 1-1 on the way. Split finger pitch swung on and missed, and the count goes to 1-2 on Amino. That pitch was pretty filthy. It was a splitter that ended up missing down and in. So here comes the 1-2 pitch. Again, they check the delivery. There's the pitch. It's a fastball swung on. This ball is lifted into deep left field, but not deep enough. Underneath it is Mizutani. He's there to make the catch, and that is going to do it. Amino has gone for the third out of the inning. They strand 2 more runners to the Hawks. No runs in the inning. There was a hit. There was no errors and 2 left aboard. That is now 8 runners they have left on through the first 6 innings. Much like their counterpart, the Fighters, who've left 7, nobody's been able to punch a run in yet. Your score as we move to the top of the 7th. It is locked up at 0s. We'll be right back after this. Welcome back, everybody. We are moving ourselves to the top of the 7th inning, and coming to bat for the Fighters will be the 8, 9, and 1 hitters in the batting order. And that means it's going to be Shinto, Ishii, and Manami. We'll see how this one plays out here. As the right-hander Tatsu looks like he'll be coming back in again. He has pitched a gem of a game here for the Fighters. And what do we have for the Hawks? Are we still staying with Levon Moinello? We're about to find out. Moinello is still on the hill to begin the 7th. Here's the first pitch. It is a fastball swung on. It is popped up over on the first base side, but watching it drift into the seats is the first baseman Nakamura. And it is 0-1 quickly here to Shinto. Shinto today is 1 for 2. He's got a single and 2 trips. As I mentioned at the top of the stream, a little surprised that he got the start and not Yua Tamiya tonight, who caught both of the games against the Buffaloes, as that fastball misses upstairs and the count goes even to 1-1. I wonder if the lineup in particular had to do more with who was pitching Moinello, if some of the players were left off of the roster, maybe because of their effectiveness, or at least out of the starting lineup. Breaking ball misses up. It's now 2-1. So 2 balls and 1 strike. Moinello rocks and delivers. Fastball under the hands, taken for a called strike. The count's 2-2. As I mentioned, 92 pitches through 6 innings for Moinello. So one would have to think you're in playoff time here. I wonder if he'd be good for yet another inning, depending on if the Hawks are trusting their bullpen these days. 2-2 on the way. Fastball swung on, grounded over to the right side. Nice play in shallow right field by the second baseman, Namura, who throws to first, and that is going to retire Shinto on a ground out 4-3. So 1 up and 1 away here in the 7th inning, and that is going to bring up the second baseman, Kazishi. So if you're just getting up on the East Coast and you're wondering what is happening, well, you don't have to worry, not a whole lot. There's no runs on the board through the first 6 innings, and a little bit more. And as we peek in over in the game, again in the Pacific League, nothing there as well. There's a fastball delivered, and it is Hooked foul into the seats down the right field line, and the count is quickly 0-1 to Kaz Ishii. Ishii now 0 for 6 in the playoffs. Looking for his first hit here. As the lefty Moinello delivers, there's a breaking ball that misses down, and the count goes even to 1-1. Moinello can get through the batter Ishii here. He'll be starting his 4th time through the order. As the lefty kicks and delivers, there's a breaking ball down, but waving at it was Ishii, and the count goes now to 1-2. So 1 ball and 2 strikes. There's the breaking ball that misses down from Moinello. The count goes to 2-2 on Ishii. Well, both of these clubs looking to break the ice here. At the top of the stream, our friend M. Schroeder said, is it going to be a pitcher's duel? And that is exactly what it's shaped up to be. So where the 5.5 runs have come from, I'm not sure where at this point. Fastball misses down and away. It's now 3-2. Got to wonder here where they're at in terms of where they're going to make a change. The one thing we don't get is the bullpens. Who's up, who's throwing, who's not. 3-2 on the way. Breaking ball, waved at and missed. And Moinello puts away Ishii for the 2nd out of the inning. It's the 2nd time he's gone down on strikes tonight. As I have to do my quick crack mathematics, at least in our ends, it looks like that's only the 6th strikeout recorded by Moinello in this one here tonight. That's going to bring up the top of the order in Chusei Minami. And again, this is why I like the Japanese league. You got the starting pitcher here. He's in the 7th inning. Not wasting any time or anything else. Let's go after him with our best. 103 pitches. Here's the first pitch. And it is a fastball taken for a called strike. Minami in the hole at 0-1. Minami tonight is officially 1 for 1. He doubled his last time up. He's walked twice. So in the playoffs, he is 5 for 8. As the lefty delivers, fastball just misses down, and the count goes even to 1-1. So 1 ball and 1 strike. If you are just joining us and you're waking up today, we're glad you guys could make it with us. As Minami steps out, crowd is cheering on the star of the fighters, the visiting crowd that is. Here's the 1-1 offering. It's a fastball that misses down, and the count now goes to 2-1. Minami can be a dangerous hitter. He can put the ball in the seats. He had north of 20 home runs this season. At the same time, he goes in stretches where he looks absolutely lost at the plate. Here comes the 2-1. Pitch on the way. Fastball just misses low. It's now 3-1. Waiting on deck is the shortstop, Shu Yamagata. So 3 balls and 1 strike to Minami. Let's see what Moinello has up his sleeve. Moinello does have a pretty good changeup. This might be the time to pull the string. Get Minami out in front. Here's the 3-1 pitch. On the way, it is a breaking ball that drops in for a called strike. Count now runs full to Minami. And if Moinello's got the full confidence here, this is probably where he'll bury the breaking ball on the young hitter. So 3 balls and 2 strikes it is. Moinello gets the sign. He rocks into the windup and delivers. Ooh, it was a fastball. Tried to sneak it by him, and Minami able to get a piece and foul it away. Count remains at 3-2. Pitch number 110 upcoming from Moinello. As the lefty gets the sign from his catcher, he nods in agreement. And he rocks and delivers. Here's the pitch. Fastball taken for a called third strike. Oh, Manami. That's what we could see. The good, the bad, and the ugly all in one. And he's gone for out number 3 as he stood there like the house by the side of the road. Minello fans 2 of the 3 batters in the inning. No runs, no hits, no errors, nobody left the board. The big boss has made his way out to talk to the umpires, and that could only maybe signal a possible pitching change. We'll let you know what that is when we come back in just a few. Your score as we move to the bottom of the 7th inning. It is the Fighters nothing and the Hawks nothing. We'll be back in just a bit. Welcome back, everybody. We are moving ourselves to the bottom half of inning number 7, and it looks like we do have a pitching change for the Fighters as they are going to the bullpen. It is going to be number 26, Seiji Tanaka, taking over here. So he will be on the hill, and we're getting into the bullpen here as he's going to replace Kota Tatsu, who is done for the night. Well, his 6 innings of work, he really settled down. He had a stretch there where he retired 10 straight Hawks, and now it is going to be a battle of the bullpens, more than likely for both teams. So Seiji Tanaka, who has the ability to save some games, now on in relief. Our friend Tyler in the house. Glad you can make it in, Tyler. Appreciate you for popping by. It is playoff time, and we'll be on every single day. There's a playoff game. The Saturday game in Japan, the Friday night one, it might be a late in progress. So Tyler says, we're just getting up for work. There's a breaking ball that misses outside, and the count is quickly 1-0. So it is the 9, 1, and 2 hitters in the order. It's Nomura, Yanagita, and Yanagamachi to face Tanaka here. Both of these teams looking to break the ice to try to get the first run across. As the pitch is on the way, there's a fastball swung on and it's lifted foul. Going to reach the seats on the first base side of home plate. Count is even at 1-1. Yep, it'll be a lot of playoff action now between now and the end of the season. So we'll try to get every single game in. If this series will stay with the Fighters and the Hawks. Once this series is done, if the other series between the Bay Stars and the Tigers continue on, we'll jump over to give you that one as well. There's a fastball that is swung on and fouled away. The count is 1-2 to Nomura. At least that is what the plan would be. Tyler says Yoshinobu Yamamoto gave him a scare last night as he was up late. Yeah, Yamamoto, though, was brilliant last night. So here comes the 1-2 pitch. Right-hander delivers, fastball swung on. Oh, he was right on that. Was Nomura, as that one was poured in at 95 on the gun. So 1 ball and 2 strikes to the light-hitting second baseman of the Hawks. I say light-hitting. He did hit 12 home runs this year, but he has not looked very strong here tonight. Here comes the 1-2 pitch. On its way. Fastball swung on. This ball is lifted into deep left center field. I talk about light hitting. And there you go. There's the first run of the ball game as Nomura has deposited into the left center field seats. And the Hawks have gone ahead here 1-0. This game here has needed some life, needed some runs. A lot of runners have been left on base here by both teams tonight. And Nomura inserts his name here as he deposits a home run into the left center field seats. 1-0, the Hawks have the lead. Tyler said he cashed on the over 6.5 last night. Good for you, Tyler. Glad that you were able to do that. It was a brilliant performance by Yamamoto. Well, the Hawks have a early 1-0 lead here. Early. Well, it's the first run of the game here in the 7th inning. And there's a first pitch that is swung on. It is going to be, oh, what a fantastic play by Yuya Gunji. Gunji had to get on his horse. He leaps and catches it as he's going to rob a base hit from Yanagita that looked like it was going to drop over the head of the third baseman. And he is going to be gone for the first out of the inning. So 1 gone here. It'll bring up the right fielder in Tetsuro Yanagamachi. Our friend Schroeder says the bullpen. Yes. Now, probably, Tyler, you were probably wondering if he would even be in there in the 9th inning. So 1 gone, Yanagamachi to the plate. He is 2 for 3 tonight. Takes a first pitch fastball for a called strike, and the count is quickly 0-1. So no balls and 1 strike. Right-hander Tanaka holds to the set. Now the pitch is on the way. It is a split finger pitch and misses down, and the count goes to 1-1. Wonder if there'll be some action now in that other game that was locked up at 0s. That game looks like it is still, game is going so slow. Fastball swung on and grounded foul over on the third base side. We're here in the bottom of the 7th. I don't even think they've moved to the top of the 6th yet. They were still in the bottom of the 5th last time I looked in. Looks like that inning is done over there, but nevertheless, just dragging their heels at the Cochin tonight. Here's the 1-2. Pitch on the way. Fastball swung on and line foul down the left field line, and the battle continues. Still 1-2 to Yanagamachi. Tyler said expected 7, but was surprised with 8 and grateful for 9. Indeed. So 1 ball and 2 strikes. Tanaka getting the sign and now delivers. Split finger pitch misses down. It's now 2-2 to Yanagamachi. Looking ahead to the fighters in the 8th inning, they're going to have the 2, 3, and 4 hitters to come to bat. It'll be Yamagata, Reyes, and Gunji. As the right-hander holds set, 2-2 on the way. Fastball swung on, grounded softly to second, fielded by Ishii, throws to first, and Yanagamachi's in the books on a ground out, 4-3. He's out for out number 2, and that'll bring up the third baseman in Ryoya Kurihara. So a 1-0 lead here for the Hawks as the last hitter in the batting order, Isami Nomura, hits a solo shot to start the 7th inning, and the Hawks are feeling it. A win tonight gives them a 2-0 lead in the series. I know it's only game 1. For those of you who are tuning in here, they play 6 games, or they have a 6-game set. It's the first team to win 4. There's a fastball taken for a called strike. The count's 0-1 to Kurihara. But the home team, the Hawks, already start with a 1-0 lead. So everything is in their favor. So basically, the Fighters will have to win 4 out of 5 for the rest of the way. There's a fastball that misses up and away, and the count goes even at 1-1. It's really stacked in favor of the top team. And in some ways, I kind of like it because you've earned the right. You've earned the right as the champion of your league to be able to get a 1-0 lead here. Here's the pitch. There's a split finger pitch that drops in for a called strike. The count's 1-2. You get all your games at home. You get a 1-0 lead. It's the reward for being the best team in the league all year. And it's like in a boxing match, the challenger has to literally come in and knock you out. 1-2 on the way. Fastball swung on, lifted down the left field line, but it's going to slice into the seats foul. Count remains at 1-2. Our friend Am Schroeder said the Tigers had a guy on it. They had guy on at second with 1 out and got him to third. They couldn't bring him home. It looked like they had pinched hit. Hernandez, I think it was, came in to pinch hit for the Tigers. Here's the 1-2. A split figure pitch swung on. This ball is lifted down the left field line. If it stays fair, it's going to be trouble, and it is. And it's going to bound into the seats. It's going to be a ground rule double for Kurihara. So a 2-out double. And the Hawks are still got something brewing here. So Kurihara is aboard. And that's going to bring up the first baseman in Akira Nakamura. They have the 6-umpire system here, and the left field umpire was right on the line. Didn't have to make too much of a call or too much of a hard call there. It did bounce. And the manager, the big boss, is out of the dugout. And what's he doing? He's going over to the home plate umpire, and that looks like it's going to be the end of the night for Tanaka. So he's going to have to go to the bullpen. It's going to be Akira Nakamura slated to come to bat. And Seiji Tanaka's night is done. Couldn't get the job done. So he's got to leave with a runner at second base and 2 gone here in the inning. And we're going to just take a little time out as we do have a pitching change. We'll be back here in just a moment with all the action. Tanaka heading to the dugout. His night is done. Welcome back, everybody. It is going to be the left-hander Kenta Uehara who is coming into the ball game, as he will take over here from Seiji Tanaka with 2 out and a runner on second. He'll be entrusted to have to face Akira Nakamura, who is 0 for 2 tonight. So he was hit by a pitch. He has flown to right, and he has struck out in his 3 trips to the plate. Uehara has just completed his tune-up tosses, and we are ready to resume the action here. M. Schroeder is saying the bullpen collapsing. And here I would have thought that if you would have asked me that it would be the strength of the fighters. But we are about to find out how strong they are in the playoffs. It's not the regular season anymore. So here comes the first pitch from Uhara as he checks the runner at second. Fires a fastball taken at the knees for a called strike, and the count's 0-1. So no balls and 1 strike. As the lefty holds to the set position, here comes the 0-1. Uhara delivers a breaking ball that's down. They appeal over to the third base umpire, but they say that Nakamura didn't go, and the count runs even to 1-1. We get a look at the replay and probably would agree with the third base umpire on that decision. So 1 ball and 1 strike. Again, Nakamura waggling the bat. Lefty Uhara ready to deliver. A base hit here could double the lead. Pitch on the way. There's a fastball swung on. This ball is hammered into right field, but backing up and making the catch is going to be Manami, and that is going to do it. Boy, they've hit the ball hard sometimes tonight, have been the Hawks, but they just can't seem to find the gaps or areas down the line for it to drop in. Nakamura gone for the third out of the inning on a line drive out to the right fielder, Manami. Does look like it is going to be a pitching change for the Hawks as well, as Moinello looks like his day is done. 1 run in the inning on 2 hits, no errors, and 1 left aboard. That is 9 runners left aboard for the Hawks here in this one tonight. We'll be back in just a bit. Top of the 8th is around the corner. Glad you could join us here on the back end of this one on the Last Raps Baseball YouTube channel. Be right back after this timeout. Welcome back, everybody. We're just waiting on the confirmation of the pitching change for the Fukuoka Ball Club. They are bringing in a right-hander, and it is going to be number 66. And that is going to be Yuki Matsumoto, who is taking over in relief. He worked 51 ball games. During the season, he had a ERA of 1.07. So Yuki Matsumoto taking over for Levon Moinello, who had to battle through his 7 innings of work. And they'll see if they can bring it home here for the Hawks tonight. So Matsumoto on the hill here, ready to go to work. And the first pitch on the way is a fastball taken for a called strike, and the count is 0-1 to Yamagata. Yamagata tonight officially 0 for 2. He had a sacrifice bunt his last time up. He's flown out and bounced into a fielder's choice his other 2 trips. Fastball taken for a called strike, and the count goes to 0-2. Tyler says, how do you feel about Dave Roberts letting Yoshinobu Yamamoto go the whole way? Love it. I said there must have been a virus in his computer that locked it up, and he couldn't let the computer make the decision as the ball's chopped foul over on the third base side. I think he threw, if I'm not mistaken, it was 107 or 111 pitches last night. Yamamoto probably was cheering too. He says, I feel like I was back in the Japanese league, throwing my 120, 130. So no balls and 2 strikes. As the right-hander delivers, there's a split finger pitch that misses down, and the count goes to 1-2 on Yamagata. Yeah, so I'm a big favor of that. I like the fact that he was able to go the distance. There's a fastball that swung on. It's grounded over to short, fielded by Imamiya. Fires to first, and Yamagata's gone on a ground out 6-3. So now there's only 5 outs to go for the Fighters. And realistically, this is a part of the batting order that needs to get it done because Franmil Reyes stepping to the plate. He's 1 for 3 tonight. He is 5 for 9 in the playoffs. So between him and Gunji and Kiyomiya and others, you got to think that they've got to get something going here. So Reyes steps in, batting from the right side. He is a presence at the plate. He is in scoring position when he steps in the box. Here comes the first pitch. Ooh, center cut fastball taken for a called strike, and the count is 0-1. Pitch was at 99 miles an hour on the gun. So no balls and 1 strike to Reyes. I would think he's going to get a steady diet of slop coming up here. No, he gets a fastball and he swings and he lifts this one into deep right field. This ball is going to be trouble, and this ball's gone. A home run for Franmil Reyes. He has even the score at 1-1. Oh my goodness. And our friend M. Schroeder, if he's listening in over here, he's probably just saying, there's the bullpens. So we got a 1-1 ball game. He threw a center cut fastball on the first pitch, but the second pitch to come back with the same spot, I don't know what he's thinking. So Franmil Reyes does what he's supposed to do, and that's deposit a ball into the seats, and we're all back to where we were, square at 1 apiece. So that brings Yuya Gunji to the plate. So the bullpen has brought gasoline to the mound by both pitchers, both teams. And Gunji coming to bat here. He is officially 0 for 3 tonight. He's grounded into a double play. He has reached on an error as he takes a first pitch fastball for a strike. He's also grounded out to third. And the Franimal does it again. This is facts. The league is meant for Franmil Reyes. I hope he stays there. I hope he finishes his career there. There's a split finger pitch that misses down. Count is 1-1. I know he hit 30 bombs in the big leagues, but I don't think he's going to get a contract offer to go back. I don't think they will give him the money, whatever money that would be. I don't even think they'd give him a guaranteed contract. Here's the 1-1 pitch. Nope. And now Matsumoto steps off the backside of the rubber, and he's going to go through the signs again. Tyler says he missed seeing him in the bigs. Yeah, I don't think he's going to get an opportunity again. There's a breaking ball that misses inside. The count is 2-1. And you might as well get paid in Japan. You've proven yourself there. Take the money, honey. Get yourself a nice contract. Set yourself up for the rest of your life. Enjoy your time in Asia. Here comes the 2-1 pitch. Fastball just misses off the outside corner, and the count goes to 3-1 on Gunji. Well, buckle up, everybody. This game may go beyond the 9-inning mark after all. We thought maybe. I didn't think that 1 run would hold up. And obviously, our friend M. Schroeder said it was, I think the under was 5.5. The bookies know what they're doing. They're no dummies. There's a fastball taken for a called strike. There's probably some more runs left in here. M. Schroeder says that the Tigers are now up 1-0. You're right. That is in the bottom of the 6th inning. I can guarantee you this, I will not be sticking around to call any extra innings of that one. Here's the 3-2 pitch. Fastball swung on and missed by Gunji. He's gone for the second out of the inning, and that'll bring up the center fielder in Kota Yazawa. It looks like it was Morishita who brought home Shikamoto with the one go-ahead run in that game. Well, this brings Kota Yazawa to the plate. Yazawa is officially 1 for 2 tonight. Sorry, check that. This is his first at bat tonight. He replaced Iyuma Imagawa, who was 1 for 2 tonight. Breaking ball taken for a called strike. The count is quickly 0-1. Looks like we're going to see more Uhara in the next half inning. Here comes the 0-1. Pitch on the way. Fastball swung on. Grounded softly over to third. Fielded by Kurihara. And he throws it offline, and the runner is going to be safe. I would have to say that Yazawa probably is going to reach on an error here. If that throw is online, he should be out. But we've seen some interesting scoring decisions in this one here. That ball was hit and had all kinds of time to throw, and he just threw it up the line. So we're going to put it in the books as an E5. I don't think that there should be any mystery to that. That's going to bring up the first baseman in Kotaro Kiyomiya. So 1-1 is the score line here. Fighters have a runner at first with 2 gone here in the 8th and a run on the board. Here's the first pitch to Kiyomiya. It's a fastball at 95, taken on the inside corner for called strike. Count is 0-1. So if you just joined us, Franmil Reyes has tied the ball game here at 1. As the right-hander Matsumoto works himself to the set position. Here comes the 0-1. Pitch on the way. Fastball misses outside, and the count now goes to 1-1. So 1 ball and 1 strike. Crowd is cheering on their fighters, the road team here tonight. Here comes the 1-1 as the right-hander holds set. Now kicks and fires. Fastball swung on. This ball's lined right to the shortstop, Imamiya. And he is going to be gone for the 3rd out of the inning. But Franmil Reyes gets it back, gets the fighters back in the game. They had 1 run in the inning. There was 1 hit. There was 1 error, and there was 1 runner left aboard. Your score as we move to the bottom half of inning number 8. It is the Fighters 1 and the Hawks 1. Stay with us, everybody. We'll be back in just a little bit with all the action right after this timeout.
Hello, this is Eric Fox, formerly of the Oakland A's and Texas Rangers baseball teams. If you want to learn about Japanese baseball, see Coach Fred of Last Raps Baseball. If you want baseball instruction, see Coach Fred. If you want to learn about golf, do not go to Coach Fred. Fred, what kind of club is this?
At Last Raps Baseball, we know baseball. That's right, everybody. We know baseball, and we know that the game here is now a 1-1 ball game. And slated to come to bat for the Hawks here. It'll be Makihara, Imamiya, and Otake Yamakawa. One would have to think if Makihara can get on, you can bet that Imamiya will be bunting. The all-time leader in sacrifice bunts. You haven't really seen the small ball executed by either team tonight. Only one sacrifice bunt by the Fighters. And that has been pretty much been it tonight. So, Uhara is still on the hill. And we've got Makihara, as we said, Imamiya, and Yamakawa to come to bat here. And the first pitch coming from Uhara is a fastball swung on. It is lifted into left field. Moving back on the warning track and making the catch is Mizutani. He's been busy both in left field and in right field tonight. Makihara gone on the first pitch here of the inning. One gone. That'll bring Kenta Imamiya to the plate. We do have a replacement at shortstop. I didn't see it, but I would guess it's going to be Mizuno. Our friend God is great still in the house here. He says he's listening in the background while eating dinner with his wife. I just want to know who made the dinner there, Titus. Here's the pitch. Fastball misses upstairs, and the count is 1-0 to Imamiya. So 1 ball and no strikes. Certainly the 1-0 lead for the Hawks did not last long. As we mentioned, it's been a lot of base runners stranded. They've left 9 aboard in the first 7 innings. Pitch on the way. Fastball misses down, and the count goes to 2-0. Titus says, him, of course, his wife can't cook. Oh. Sorry to hear that. Fastball taken for a called strike, and the count goes to 2-1. 2 balls and 1 strike. Again, the lefty O'Hara delivers. There's a fastball swung on and lifted foul over on the first base side. Count goes to 2-2. Titus is making us hungry here. He said he made red wine fish. Sounds like a good deal. Lefty O'Hara ready to go again. Kicks, double pumps, and delivers. It's a fastball swung on. Is grounded up the middle. Fielded by the second baseman Ishii. He throws to first, and Imamiya is going to be retired on a ground out 4-3. He's gone for the second out of the inning, and it's going to leave it up to the designated hitter in Hotake Yamakawa. Well, let's see what the big boss has in mind. They're not going to make any changes to face the big guy here. I'll tell you, Yamakawa here. O'Hara, let's see if he can keep the ball in the yard. Yamakawa tonight is officially 0 for 2. The first pitch is a breaking ball, misses up and away. Count is 1-0. He reached on an error in the second inning by the center fielder Manami. Then he struck out and was intentionally walked in the 6th. Pitch on the way. Fastball swung on and missed. He looked like he wanted to put the Hawks back out in front. M. Shorter says they only score with no runners in scoring position. Yeah, absolutely. And there is a breaking ball that's waved at and missed. Now the count goes to 1-2. So 1 ball and 2 strikes. Actually, that was a split finger pitch. Had a lot of downward motion to it. Sometimes you don't know if it's a 12-6. As time has been called. I don't actually get a good look at the spin per se. You can see the spin difference between a curveball and the fastball, but the angle that we have here, not quite good enough to see that. Here's the 1-2, double clutch again. Fastball swung on. This ball is lifted into deep right field, but not deep enough, as underneath it is Manami. He's there to make the catch, and the Hawks are going to go quietly here in their half of the 8th inning. They got no runs, no hits, no errors, and nobody left the board. Your score as we move to the top of the 9th inning, we are all locked up at 1s between the Hawks and the Fighters. Stick around, everybody. We'll be back in just a little bit with all the action. Top of the 9th, just around the corner after this timeout. Well, we got a score line of 1-1, and we'll be back in just a few right after this timeout. Welcome back, everybody. It is going to be Kazuki Sugiyama coming on in relief. That might have been one inning a little bit too late. So Sugiyama coming in as he is going to be slated to face the 7, 8, and 9 hitters of the Fighters batting order. That means Mizutani, Shinto, and Ishii scheduled to hit. So he is completing his tune-up tosses. We are ready to resume the action here. It has been a story of 2 solo home runs. It was Isami Nomura who homered for the Hawks in the bottom of the 7th, and in the top of the 8th, Franmil Reyes returned the favor with a solo shot of his own. As the scoreline is 1-1 here, as we are now into the top of the 9th inning. Our friend Jimmy Redbeard checking back in, saying, "Go Hawks." Well, go big or go home here. So Mizutani steps in. He's had a pretty decent night tonight, 1 for 3 at the plate, but he's been busy in the outfield. And the first pitch is fouled away, and the count is quickly 0-1. So no balls and 1 strike. Sugiyama works quickly for somebody out of the pen. Fastball misses down. Sometimes you get the relievers that come in and they just take their sweet time when they have to throw their pitches. Sugiyama doesn't waste much time. He would not need a Major League Baseball pitch clock. He gets the ball and goes. Here's the 1-1. Fastball swung on and fouled away, and the count goes to 1-2. So 1 ball and 2 strikes. Ivan Moinella went the first 7 innings for the Hawks, didn't allow a run, had a battle tonight, more so than maybe what we would have anticipated. As there is a fastball swung on, it's going to be hook-barreled foul well into the seats down the left field line, and the count remains at 1-2 to Shin Mizutani. Right-hander kicks and fires. There's a split-finger pitch swung on and missed. Mino is going to apply the tag to Mizutani, and he is going to be gone for the first out of the inning, and that'll bring up the catcher in Yuya Shinto. Either of these 2 coaches have really gone to their bench offensively tonight. So Shinto steps into the box. And he is officially 1 for 3 tonight. He's got a single and 3 trips, swings at a fastball, lifts this one into deep left center field. Racing back as the center fielder Makihara, and he's going to make the catch in the left center field gap. And so Shinto is going to be retired for the second out of the inning. That's going to leave it up to the second baseman in Kaz Ishii. I was thinking about that game in the last series between the Giants and the Bay Stars, the elimination game. I don't think I've ever seen anything like it. 5 runs were scored by each team in the first inning, and then it was a bunch of zeros all the way to the 11th. And that is where they traded their runs. There is a split-finger pitch swung on and missed, and the count is quickly 0-1 to Ishii. In that final game of the series, the Giants had scored in the top of the 11th inning. And the Bay Stars came right back with 2 of their own. There's a split finger pitch that misses down, and the count goes to 1-1. So 1 ball and 1 strike. Sugiyama delivers. There's a split finger pitch that's waved at and missed, and the count goes to 1-2 on Ishii. Oh boy, that ball hardly had any type of spin in it at all. Once it left the hand of Sugiyama. So here comes the 1-2. Sugiyama rocks and delivers. There's a fastball swung on. It's going to be lined into right field. It's going to get down for a base hit. And stopping at first is going to be Ishii, and he does his job. He's going to turn it over to the top of the batting order. It's going to bring Chusei Minami to the plate. And for Minami, well, he's had a productive day at the office offensively. He has been on base 3 times. He is 1 for 2 officially. He's got a double and 2 trips with 2 walks. So he comes to the plate here with a chance to extend the lead for the Fighters, or at least give them a lead and an opportunity here. M. Shorter says the Tigers have plated another run. There's a pitch that just misses down. Count is quickly 1-0 to Minami. And there is a split figure pitch that swung on and missed. Count now goes to 1-1 strike. Looks like Onondera knocked in a runner. I'm not sure who the runner was that was at third base. It looks like it could have been Morishita. Here comes the 1-1 pitch. Fastball misses down, and the count goes to 2-1. As we said, both the Tigers and the Hawks had a 1-0 lead going into the series tonight. Win tonight by the Tigers, that pretty much means that the Bay Stars are going to have to win 4 out of 5. That is a daunting task. Here's the 2-1. Fastball taken for a called strike. Minami, he didn't like the call. I got to be honest with you. I don't know if I agree with the home plate umpire on that one. Here in this situation, that just takes the bat out of the hitter's hands. It could be 3 balls and 1 strike. The other thing, too, is how the catcher receives the ball. You can often see it looked like that Amino got chicken winged there. So 2 balls and 2 strikes. It is Sugiyama again working to the set. Pitch on the way. Breaking ball swung on, chopped over to short, and it's going to get through the 6-hole into left field, and Minami's going to be a bit bored with a single. And stopping at second is going to be Ishii. And that is going to bring Yamagata to the plate. But we'll see what the big boss has up his sleeve. As far as I'm concerned, got to be start looking to the bench here and maybe think about bringing Mizuno in defensively. When I look at the firepower that when I say firepower, I guess maybe the options that they have to come off the bench in this ball game here tonight for the Fighters. As we have a conference on the mound. You got Nomura on the bench. You got Narama on the bench. You've got Matsumoto. You got Isobata. Those are your options there. You also have Ariel Martinez. That's who I would probably be leaning to in this situation, the veteran bat. Chance to drive in a run and maybe more, but it is going to be number 58 coming in to pinch hit. This is Narama. And the first pitch is a split finger that he waves at and misses. So Narama in the hole, but no balls and 1 strike. So Daiki Narama, who on the regular season in 103 at-bats, hit .220 with a homer and 3 RBIs. Pitch on the way. Another split finger swung on and missed, and he's in the hole at 0-2. So not what you're looking for from your pinch hitters. So Daiki Narama looking to try to stay alive here. No balls and 2 strikes. Right-hander Sugiyama delivers. It's a breaking ball that misses upstairs. Count goes to 1-2. That's a pitch that you might want to be able to do something with. Brazy says, let's go Hawks. Yeah, well, we're going to find out what happens here in a moment. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Fighters looking to give their team a lead again. There's a split finger pitch swung on and fouled away behind home plate. Count remains at 1-2. Looking ahead to the bottom of the 9th inning, it's going to be 8, 9, and 1 hitters to come to bat. Umino, Nomura, and the top of the order in Yanagita. For now, the Fighters are trying to do their part to punch a run across here. Pinch hitter Narama waiting on the offering from the right-hander Sugiyama, who works himself to the belt. Here's the pitch. Split finger pitch swung on and missed, and they're going to tag the batter, and that is going to do it. Narama's down on strikes. He's gone for out number 3. So the threat that started with 2 outs has been averted. No runs in the inning. There were 2 hits. There were no errors and 2 runners left aboard. And just as we were giving you the count for the Hawks, by our count here tonight, that would be 10 runners left aboard in the 9 innings for the Fighters. And they had in the inning, no runs, 2 hits, no errors, and 2 left. Will be going to the bottom of the 9th inning in just a couple of moments with the chance for the Hawks to walk it off and win it. Be right back after this. Welcome back, everybody. We're going to take a look and see who the Fighters have up their sleeve, and it is going to be Yukiya Saito, the closer, to try to come in and close at least this inning off. So Saito is coming on in relief. He'll be the 4th pitcher used tonight by the Fighters. As we said, he's going to be entrusted to have to face the 8, 9, and 1 hitters in the batting order, which means it's going to be Umino, Nomura, and Yanagita scheduled to come to bat. While he's completing his tune-up tosses, we can tell you by taking a look at that out-of-town scoreboard over in the game at the Koshin Stadium, still in the bottom of the 6th, 2-0 for the Tigers, as they now have that lead against the Bay Stars, the defending Japan Series champions. So here we go, as Saito has completed his tune-up tosses, and we're ready to get back at it here. Umino slated to come to bat. We'll see if the manager of the Hawks may choose to go in another direction. And no, sir, it is going to be the catcher who he's hanging in here with. So for Umino today, he is 1 for 3. He singled his first time up, but then he struck out and flew out to left, as the right-hander Tanaka kicks and fires. The first pitch fastball at 97 misses inside, and the count is quickly 1-0. So 1 ball and no strikes to Umino. This is where you need to find a way somehow to get on. If you got to lean into a pitch, get on base a lot. Another fastball that misses way inside. And that was at 98 on the gun. So 2 balls and no strikes it is. Not exactly the sign of command that one would have to expect from the closer, even though it's not a closing situation. Here comes the 2-0 pitch. Kicks and fires. He hasn't been close on any of these pitches. That ball was spiked up to the plate, and it's now 3-0. So Amino trying to get himself on. I was saying earlier, I wonder if Yukio Shudo will play a part in this game. And I wonder if Amino gets on, if Shudo is stretching himself out. You got to think that his speed and ability to get around the bases, as the 3-0 is on the way, it's center cut fastball, take it for a called strike. I don't know. I think I'd be taken all the way again here at 3-1. So 3 balls and 1 strike. As the right-hander again works himself to the set. Now he kicks and delivers. There's a fastball that just misses low. And that's going to be ball 4. A leadoff walk here to Amino. So let's keep an eye here. But I definitely would be saying that you got to think Yukio Shudo is going to be somebody who's going to be coming in to run. He is an absolute game changer. And the fighters have come out to talk to their pitcher. And Nomura coming to the bat here. No change as of yet. I don't know. The other thing is, I know Nomura hit the home run his last time up. He had 12 homers during the regular season. He's 1 for 3 tonight. Are you letting him swing, or are you going to drop a bunt? And as far as I'm concerned, how about a home run and a bunt in the same game? And he is scoring the bunt. Good. And here's the pitch, and it's bunted, and it's not a good one. It is caught by the pitcher, Tanaka. He underhands it over to first. Oh my goodness! Oh, not a very good bunt by Nomura. He pops out. They tried to get Amino over at first base, but they were unable to complete that. He is going to be gone for the first out of the inning. Nice job. A good athletic play by the pitcher to come off the mound. He leapt to caught it, but it was a terrible flip to first. Ball was in the dirt. So that is going to bring the top of the order in Yuki Yanagita to the plate. Or is it? It looks like we're going to have a pinch hitter here. Very, very strange decision. This is going to be Yukio Shudo. Shudo's coming into pinch hit. I would have thought they would have had him in the pinch run. The catcher's clogging up the base paths. So Yanagita, who had some pretty good swings tonight, his day is done, and the first pitch delivered to Shudo is taken for a called strike, and the count is 0-1. So Shudo, who is known for his speed, is up at the plate here. Here comes the 0-1 offering from Tanaka. And the pitch on the way. Fastball swung on and fouled right away, right at the plate. Count is 0-2. So the runner at first is the catcher, Amino. There's 1 gone here in the inning. The top of the order is now occupied by Shudo. We are in the bottom half of inning number 9 and all locked up at ones. So here comes the offering again from the right-hander Saito as he works himself to the belt, out of the chest. 0-2 on the way. Fastball misses way outside. The count goes to 1-2. So 1 ball and 2 strikes to Shudo. Game certainly has had an uptick here. As it's 1 ball and 2 strikes to Shudo. He waits on the offering from Saito, batting from the left side here. Pitch on the way. Fastball swung on and fouled away over on the third base side. Count remains at 1-2. That pitch was at 98 on the gun. He keeps inching closer to that 100-mile-an-hour mark. Our friend Mike Cool Hooks pops in, says he hopes it stays tied to the 12th. He's got the under 2.5. Yeah, I don't know. And certainly a tie would favor the Hawks. Here comes the 1-2 pitch as the right-hander kicks and delivers. There's a fastball swung on. This ball is sliced into left field, moving over toward the foul line, and there to make the catch is Mizutani, and Shuto is going to be gone for the second out of the inning. It's going to leave it all up to the right fielder and Tetsuro Yanagamachi. Well, buckle up, everybody. We are staring at some extra innings. Shorter says bold two under 2.5. Absolutely. Well, if you had the under for the first 5, you definitely cashed in. So here comes the first pitch to Yanagamachi on the way. Fastball taken on the outside corner for called strike. Count is 0-1. Yanagamachi's had a pair of hits today. Hawks have had 8 hits, and Yanagamachi's had 2 of them. He's 2 for 4. He's also struck out and grounded out. As the 0-1 pitch ready to come. Saito holds. Now delivers. Fastball misses down, and the count goes even to 1-1. So 1 ball and 1 strike. I've watched this game tonight, and I just have a feeling we're going to have a weird finish. Just the way this game's going. I don't think it'll be a home run to walk it off. I think it'll be something crazy is going to happen if the Hawks win or if the Fighters are to get a run if this game continues. Fastball swung on. This ball is going to be lined and it's sliced foul into the seats down the left field line, that temporary seating. Count goes now to 1-2. Schroeder says, let's walk it off. He wants this game to end. I'm indifferent at this point. If we get through this one, we probably got another hour on our hands, I would think. Game 1 of the series, going the distance and then some. So here comes the 1-2 pitch. Yanagamachi waits. Saito nods in agreement with his catcher. He works himself to the belt. Here's the 1-2. Pitch down in the dirt. Gets away from the catcher, and there you go. Off to second goes Amino. This is the weirdness I was talking about a moment ago. Now he is in scoring position on the wild pitch. Oh, boy. Not exactly what the Fighters have ordered up. He almost got hit, did the batter there. Pulled his leg out of the way. Ended up that the good read there by the catcher is the catcher Amino who was running as he took off while the pitch was in the ground. So now they've got the runner in scoring position. Base hit to the outfield. Still wondering why they're not running for the catcher. He's not exactly the most fleet of foot. Outfield, surprisingly, not necessarily shallow. They're probably in normal depth. Here comes the 2-2. Pitch on the way. Fastball swung on and missed. You don't have to worry about throwing anybody out at the plate because we're going to be going extra innings, everybody. They are going to take a little break again in between the 9th and the 10th because they're going to do a little adjustments to the field. But we got extra innings here. No runs, no hits, no errors. There was yet another Hawk left aboard. And by my count tonight, that is 10. Well, we'll be back for the top of the 10th inning when we return after this. We appreciate you for listening in on the Last Raps Baseball YouTube channel. It is a 1-1 game as we move to the 10th inning. We'll be right back after this timeout. Welcome back, everybody. We're just getting ourselves back in the saddle here as we are going to be going to the top of the 10th inning. We'll get you caught up on any of the other changes. The Hawks had already gone to their bullpen a couple of times. Fighters have gone to their bullpen a couple of times. We're waiting to see if they're going to have another change here. As they are waiting, I do believe that they will. I think Sugiyama will be done for the night, unless, of course, they have to make another change. We're going to see here, is it going to be Fuji? I'll have to get the number here, but it is Sugiyama who is done. I definitely know that's not Darwinzon Hernandez. It is Fuji, number 48, coming in. He's going to get his tune-up tosses in, and we'll be back in just a couple moments with all the action. It is a 1-1 game as we move to the top of the 10th. Welcome back, everybody. Koya Fuji has completed his tune-up tosses, and it's going to be Franmil Reyes, Yuya Gunji, and Kota Yazawa slated to come to bat here in the 10th inning. Of course, the only run so far in this one for the Fighters came off the bat of Franmil Reyes. And so he's going to get an opportunity here to do some more damage. He is 2 for 4 tonight. He's got a single home run. He's flown to center, and he has struck out in his 4 trips to the plate. As the right-hander Fuji kicks and delivers, the first pitch fastball misses just off the outside corner at 95 on the gun. So 1 ball and no strikes to Reyes. Fuji ready to go again, works himself to the set. Now he kicks and delivers. A split finger pitch misses down and away, and the count is 2-0. So 2 balls and no strikes. Fuji is got to be one of the slower workers. He would fit right in on the back end of the Hanshin Tiger bullpen for guys who don't work particularly quick. So 2 balls and no strikes as the right-hander ready to go again. Kicks and delivers. There's a breaking ball taken for a called strike. Count goes to 2-1 on Reyes. Actually, that was a split finger pitch that dropped in. As I said before, sometimes I can't tell you see the downward movement. I just can't see the spin of the ball from the angle that we have. So 2 balls and 1 strike. Fuji at the set now kicks and fires. Fastball swung on. This ball is lifted into deep right center field. This ball could be trouble, and it's going to get off the wall. Oh, really well played by the center fielder of the Hawks to hold Reyes to a long single. That ball was absolutely scorched. He didn't miss another home run by very much on that one. It hit about 2/3 of the way up the wall. So he is aboard here with a single. We'll see if they're going to pinch run for him. Leadoff single here by Franmil Reyes, his 3rd hit of the game. And if I were them, I'd run Ryo Isobata right here. I don't know what they're doing. I don't understand why they wouldn't just do that right straight away. I know you got Gunji at the plate here. Steal him over to second, and you got multiple cracks to bring him in. I know Gunji's not going to be in a bunt situation. He's your cleanup hitter, and he's had a pretty good playoff thus far. And they step off the rubber, does Fuji. He feigns a throw over to first base, and getting back easily is the big fella. You get a chuckle out of the dugout for sure. I don't think he's going anywhere. He's got both feet in his lead now, firmly planted on the dirt. Don't even get 1 foot out to the grass. Here we go. Here comes the pitch. on its way, and it's a fastball that spiked in the dirt. Nice stop there by Imeno. So 1 ball and no strikes it is to Gunji. M. Schroeder says, what a beast. Yeah, you know what? Franmil Reyes, it's interesting. He's like a 4A player. He's too good almost for the Japanese league in some regards, or too good for AAA, but not good enough for the big leagues to play consistently. I think of some of those type of players that are in Major League Baseball right now. And of course, I follow the Detroit Tigers more than anybody else. And I think of a guy like Justin Henry Malloy. He might be a guy that could potentially have a career in the Japanese league. I don't think he's going to get the opportunity in Major League Baseball. I just don't think it's going to work. But I think he could, just like he destroys AAA pitching in the International League, I think he could do it in Japan. Here comes the 1-0 pitch. Fuji delivers. Fastball swung on and missed. Oh boy, Gunji looked like he wanted to put that one into the seats. 1 ball, 1 strike it is. If you've just joined us, it was nothing until we got to the bottom of the 7th. And then it was Nomura who hit a solo shot for the Hawks, and that didn't last long. In the top of the 8th, it was Franmil Reyes who had hit a solo shot to tie it up, and that's where we stand. There's a split finger pitch missing down. 2 balls and 1 strike to Yuya Gunji. Gunji taps both sides of the plate. Waggles his bat, and he's ready for the pitch from Fuji. 2 balls, 1 strike. Fuji checks the runner over at first as he works himself to the set. And now he kicks and fires. There's a fastball swung on. It is lifted down the right field line, but it's going to slice into the seats. I tell you, Fuji throws hard. He's going to supply the power. Got to put a good swing on a good pitch. So again, Gunji waggling the bat. Waiting from the offering from Fuji as Fuji holds to the set. He checks the runner again. Here comes the 2-2. Pitch on the way, almost spiked it. Ball misses down. It's now 3-2. Good decision there by Gunji to hold up. So 3-2 it is. Is Fuji ready to deliver? Fuji ready to deliver to Gunji. Again, working to the set. This is where the time just seems to drag. And there's a fastball swung through and missed. Oh, he blew it right by him. Gunji in the books for the first out of the inning, and that'll bring up the center fielder in Kodi Yazawa. And Yazawa, well, he came into the ball game as a replacement. He came in for Imagawa. Imagawa was the starting left fielder, but he slotted himself into center field. Still don't know. I understand why that Reyes is still running here. Anyways, he's officially 0 for 1 tonight. He reached on an error by the third baseman Kurihara his first time up. As Fuji holds to the set and delivers, there's a fastball taken for a called strike. Count is quickly 0-1. So no balls and 1 strike it is. Again, the right-hander Fuji ready to go. He works himself to the set. Here's the 0-1. Fastball swung on. This ball is lifted into right center field. Moving over underneath it with room to make the catch is the right fielder, and that is Makihara, who slid on into right field. And that is going to retire Yazawa. He's gone for the second out of the inning. It's going to leave it all up to the first baseman in Kitaro Kiyomiya. So leadoff single by Franmil Reyes right now has been squandered, at least to this point, as they have not been able to get him into scoring position. So Kiyomiya here, another player who does have some pop in the stick. As the right-hander Fuji holds to the set, here's the pitch. Fastball misses down and in, and the count is quickly 1-0. So 1 ball and no strikes. Hawks trying to get out of this situation here so they can bring their offense back to the plate. Looking further ahead, it's the 3, 4, and 5 hitters to come to bat for Fukuoka. In the bottom half of inning number 10, here's the 1-0. There's a fastball on the inside corner taken for a called strike, and the count goes even to 1-1 on Kiyomiya. So 1 ball and 1 strike. Again, Kiyomiya waggling the bat. The right-hander holds himself to the set. 1-1 on the way. There's a fastball that misses down, and the count now goes to 2-1. So 2 balls and a strike. The Fighters fans are on their feet, the ones who did make the travel down. 2 balls and 1 strike to Kiyomiya. Could be a defining moment for the Fighters here. Kiyomiya, of course, one of their bigger stars. Here comes the 2-1 pitch. As Fuji delivers, fastball just misses outside. That looked like a pretty darn good pitch. So 3 balls and 1 strike it is. Shin Mizutani waiting his turn on deck. And again, if they get to second base, are they going to run for Reyes? That'll be the question. So 3 balls and 1 strike. You know he's going to get something fat here. Here comes the pitch. And it is a split-figure pitch. It misses down. It's going to be ball 4. Kiyomiya is going to get himself a walk. That's going to advance Reyes over to second. It's going to bring the pitching coach out to the mound, and it's going to slated to bring Shin Mizutani to the plate. So they're going to come out and have a couple of words with Fuji. Tom Berg in the house, he says, let's go Fighters. Welcome to the stream, Tom. And I still don't understand it. You've got Reyes running at second base. You got Isobata on the bench. He's your DH. I know there's you could potentially come to bat again in the 11th or 12th innings, potentially down the trail. But you would think you want to try to win it now. You also got Martinez on the bench, and so he could easily slot in if you needed somebody to come to bat to try to put a ball into the seats. But that's the way she be. Mizutani steps to the plate, 1 for 4 tonight. He has struck out twice. He has popped to the catcher, and he has singled. So 3 for 8 in the playoffs so far. The outfield is playing a little bit deeper because the runner at second, there's a fastball swung on. This ball is belted down the left field line, coming hard. Making the catch and running into the wall is the left fielder, Makihara, and that is going to do it. What a play by him. Oh, my goodness. Mizutani hit a slicing ball down the right field line, He had to come a long way to get it. He reaches out, catches it as he slams into the wall, and that is going to do it as Mizutani is gone for out number 3. No runs in the inning. There was a hit. There was no errors, and there were 2 more runners left the board for the Fighters. And if you think about it from our count, that would be 12 runners left the board in the 10 innings. We are now moving to the bottom of the 10th. Your score is the Fighters and the Hawks all tied up at 1. We'll be back in just a few right after this timeout. Welcome back, everybody. The Fighters are going to their bullpen. It's going to be Shoma Kanamura, who had 28 appearances during the regular season, pitching to a 2.93 earned run average. He is going to take over here, and he'll be the 5th pitcher used by the Fighters in this one. Slated to come to bat will be the 3, 4, and 5 hitters in the batting order, Kurihara, Nakamura, and Makihara, to face the right-hander. So he has just completed his tune-up tosses, and we are ready to resume the action. So for Kurihara tonight, he is 2 for 4. He's got a single and double in the 4 trips. He's also grounded out and flown out. I would say he's hit the ball hard a couple of times tonight. Even the line out to right field was ready to knock the door down. So here we go. Here comes the first pitch. Fastball misses upstairs, and the count is quickly a 1-0. So 1 ball and no strikes. Good hitters count right out of the gate. Let's see if the Hawks will play some small ball if they can get some people on. Here comes the 1-0. Fastball spiked into the dirt, and the count goes to 2-0. So 2 balls and no strikes. As a reminder, we'll be back on the airwaves again tomorrow night for the same 2 teams. We'll stay with this series right to the bitter end, whatever that might be. Schroeder's calling his shot here. Here's the 2-0. Fastball misses upstairs. Count goes to 3-0. I don't think Kanamura necessarily agreed with that call. Just his body language. I have to tell you, there's been some calls here in the last couple of innings that almost like the home plate umpire squeezing the pitcher of the Fighters. It doesn't matter. There's a fastball that misses upstairs. It's going to be ball 4. That pitch wasn't even close. So Kurihara is aboard with a leadoff walk, and that is going to bring Akira Nakamura to the plate. So you got to think here that they're looking to bunt one down to get him over to second base and maybe trying to get a couple of cracks to bring him in. So Kanamura hasn't thrown a strike yet. We do have a pinch runner here. So that's what we've been calling for earlier on. It is going to be number 25. This is Yudai Shoji. So Yudai Shoji in the pinch run. And already scoring the bunt here is Nakamura. Nakamura officially 0 for 3 tonight. He was hit by a pitch as well, as they throw over to first base and diving back in time. And then you've got the Pacific League batting champion, who's waiting his turn on deck. So you got to ask yourself, if you bunt him to second, do you walk Makihara to set up a force? Because you got Imamiya coming up after that, who's not exactly one of the better hitters in the lineup. So here comes the pitch. It's bunted, it's down, it's going to work. Not only is it going to work, it almost beats it out. That ball had a lot of English on it, and that's a big-time smile from the first baseman, Nakamura. He got the job done. Ball almost spun away. Very difficult play for the Fighters defense. We'll get a look at it again. It looked like it hit the plate. Thought it was going to go foul. Ended up with a lot of English on it. Then the pitcher, Kanemaru, had come off the mound, had to actually go and retrieve it. But they were still able to get him by a half step. So Shoji moves over to second. Sacrifice 1-4 in the books as Nakamura has gone for the first out of the inning. That is going to bring Taisi Makihara to the plate. But as we figured, he's going to get intentionally walked. That's going to put runners at first and second. And that'll bring up Kenta Imamiya to the plate. And you got to start to wonder, is Imamiya going to get the bat here? Our friend M. Schroeder says the bunting has been bad. Yeah, it's not been great tonight. Both teams really had struggled. They were unable to get bunts down in certain situations. But tip your hat to Nakamura. He was able to get it done here in the clutch. So the winning run is at second base in Shoji. Kenta Imamiya at the plate. Imamiya tonight is officially 1-for-4. He had a double. Kind of a cheap double. That was the one that got through the third baseman, Kiyomiya. I'm not so sure I agree with the ruling, but it is what it is. First pitch, fastball comes up and in, almost hits him. So 1 ball and no strikes. It's been an entertaining affair here tonight. All the offense has come in the span of about 1 inning apart. Bottom of the 7th, Namura hit a home run for the Hawks. Top of the 8th, a home run by Reyes, and that's where we stand. Here's the 1-0. Fastball swung on, grounded through the 6-hole into left field, and they're going to have to hold the runner at third because that wasn't deep enough. They were in a position where they could throw the runner out at the plate if they had to. So that is going to load the bases, and it's going to bring Hotaka Yamakawa to the plate. So the big fella here needs a deep fly ball. So bases full on the ground ball single by Imamiya. The big boss is out. He's talking to the home plate umpire. We're going to wait to see if they're going to make a pitching change, or if it is going to be another type of defensive change, where it looks like it is going to be the end of the night for Kanemaru. Or is it? Yep, his night is done, and we're going to take a little break, and we'll come back in just a couple of moments. Your score, it is Fighters 1, Hawks 1. We're in the bottom of the 10th. Bases reduced, 1 out. We're right back after this.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Namaste. Hey, I hope you guys have been enjoying the game. My name is Hollis. I've got a YouTube channel called Another Hollis Build. I love baseball cards. I open up brand new product for you guys. I open up old stuff. I do breaks. I do auctions. All kinds of stuff concerning baseball. I'm Friars faithful, Padres to the end. I also love Garbage Pail Kids and my animals. I have a ton of animals. It's like a mini petting zoo here around my house. I also love my city. San Diego, baby. I take you all around the city and show you what's up. If you guys dig stuff like that, cruise on over and check it out. It's Another Hollis Build. If you dig it, subscribe. I'd really appreciate to have more follow me along on the journey. Hey, either way, you guys have a wonderful day or a beautiful, beautiful evening. No matter which one it is, make sure that you make it great, my friends. Big up Last Raps Baseball. Yeah, Freddie, let's go. One love and peace. Yeah, man.
Welcome back, everybody. It is going to be the right-hander Taisho Tamai coming into the ball game. He made 40 appearances during the regular season, pitching to a 2.25 ERA. He is going to be the sixth pitcher used tonight by the Fighters, and he comes into a very difficult situation. The bases are loaded with one gone here in the 10th inning. And the big fella, Hotaka Yamakawa, coming to the plate. Yamakawa tonight has been, I would say, inefficient. He is 0 for 3. He reached on an error back in the second inning by the center fielder. Looks like that we're going to have a substitute here. It looks like that Shun Mizutani is coming out of the game. I'll have to wait and see who they're going to put in. Oh, it is Ryo Isabata. So Isabata will come in defensively. He's getting a few tosses on the side as well. So he's going to have to try to throw somebody out. So Isabata comes into the ball game. And one would have to think your outfield's going to be in shallow here. And it looks like that they've moved Yazawa over into left field. So he was in center field. They moved him to left, and it is Isobata who has now gone into center field. Bases are full. And we've got right now the situation, one gone here in the bottom of the 10th inning. Hawks have had a problem tonight punching home runs, as they have had 10 runners stranded so far tonight, but Yamakawa at the plate. And the first pitch swung on. It is grounded and chopped over the head of the third baseman into left field, and that is going to do it. A RBI single off the bat of Yamakawa, and he is going to win it here for the Hawks. As in to score comes the pinch runner Shoji, and that will do it here tonight. Your final score is the Fukuoka SoftBank Hawks 2 and the Fighters 1. There was one run in the inning on the benefit of 2 hits. No errors, 3 more runners left the board. 2-1 is your final. Hang tight, everybody. We'll be back to wrap it up in just a moment. The other game is still going on. We'll take a look at that one and wrap that for you as well. Right back after this.
Well, you got to have an ace in the hole, a little secret that nobody knows. Life is a gamble, a game we all play, but you've got to save something for a rainy day. You've got to learn to play your cards right if you expect to win in life. Don't put it all on the line for just one roll. You've got to have an ace in the hole.
Welcome back, everybody. We're going to wrap this up for you and call it a night, as the Hawks have won it on a walk-off in the bottom of the 10th, 2-1, to give them a 2-0 lead here in the series. Well, how did the runs happen tonight? Pretty simple. In the bottom of the 7th inning, it was a leadoff home run off the bat of Isami Namura to give Fukuoka a 1-0 lead. The Fighters responded in the top of the 8th with 1 out. It was Franmil Reyes going the other way, hitting a home run and tying the game up at 1. And then here in the bottom of inning number 10, it was a leadoff walk to Ryoya Kurihara. They brought in the pinch runner Yudai Shoji to pinch run. After a sacrifice bunt by Akira Nakamura, Taisi Makihara was intentionally walked. Then Kenta Iyamimiya singled to load the bases, and up stepped Hotaki Yamakawa, and his chopper pounded into the ground, ended up over the head of the third baseman for the Fighters, which was Gunji, into left field, and that was going to do it, as they won the ball game 2-1. All right, and so for us, just looking over at the other ball game at the Koshin Stadium in the bottom of the 8th inning, the Tigers are enjoying a 2-0 lead over the Bay Stars. Tigers 2-6-1, Bay Stars 0-8-1 in that one, and that game there is looking like it is still the Tigers batting. They've got a runner on and 1 out in the bottom half of the 8th, and that is where that one stands. Well, we hope you enjoyed the call tonight, and we're glad you guys popped in, or I'm glad you guys popped in tonight, as it is the Last Raps Baseball YouTube channel. We'll be back on the airwaves again tomorrow. Same 2 teams tomorrow night. Hopefully you can make it in. I'm Schroeder. Appreciate you for hanging in here with us. My Cool Hooks. Not to forget our friend God is great. Tom Berg. and everybody else who took the time to listen. We thank you for being here. Have a great night, everybody.